right on solid ground. I've been waiting for a long time, a long, long time.
It's round 2 of 3 at Fenway Park, a beautiful afternoon in Boston. Scott Garceau and Ben McDonald, we're coming to you from Camden Yards today. And the Orioles last night, the opener, well, Ben, it was one to forget. You're on the wrong end of a 13-2 score, and balls are flying all over the park. Not much to cheer about, but Rio Ruiz did have the game's only homer.
Yeah, I tell you, Orioles only got 6 hits, 2 runs last night. Ruiz had a really good swing on the fastball and melted one out towards right center field. He's worked hard this offseason. He gained 10 pounds and it really started the year like he finished it last year. 7 of his 12 home runs came in the last part of the season. And Jose Iglesias continues to pound the baseball. He did it all through spring training and spring training 2.0, and he had a really good hit out towards right center field. So the left side of that infield got 2 of the 6 hits. And I talk about the left side of that infield. Ruiz also worked hard on his defense. He's a difference maker too. And you look at Iglesias laying right there. 7 years in the big leagues. He's fielded 984 at the shortstop position. You could make an argument he's one of the top 5 defending shortstops in all of Major League Baseball.
Alex Cobb, the Orioles anxious to see him. They're going to need a good one from him today. It's Cobb against Perez. We're back with first pitch right after this. Southwest Airlines, big heart and low fares. Book now at southwest.com. Game 2 of 3 at Fenway Park. Beautiful afternoon in New England. Scott Garceau and Ben McDonald coming to you from Camden Yards. Yes, it's opening day weekend. The opener, not a pretty one for the Orioles as the Red Sox dropped a 13-2 score on them. Boston pounded out 17 hits and not much went right the Oriole way, Ben, in the opener. But you got to just move on, right? That's a good thing about baseball. You don't have to wait a week to play the next one.
You're absolutely right. That's the great thing. You can flush what happened, and that's what the Orioles have to do, right? I mean, there's so much anticipation for Game 1, you know, a new season, a new beginning, and you come out and you lay an egg in a lot of ways from a pitching standpoint, you know. So it's a difficult start for the Orioles, but the good thing is just one game, and boy, if they can rebound today, and you hope Alex Cobb is on his game because he's Boston. One thing we saw about Boston last night is the fact that if you leave a pitch in the middle of the plate, they hammer it, and they did it often last night.
They'll make you pay 1 through 9 throughout the lineup. Their 8 and 9 hitters had big games last night. The Orioles hope to get something going today with the bats as well. They ran into a tough pitcher. Nathan Eovaldi had his A game working.
Yeah, Eovaldi was, I mean, first pitch of the game, 100 miles an hour, and he pretty much sat there the first inning and never threw a fastball below 97. But what was impressive about Eovaldi last night, he really moved that fastball to both sides of the plate, showed you a good slider and a good split finger fastball too.
All right, the Orioles and the Red Sox. You're looking at the home plate umpires as we're about to get ready to weigh at Fenway Park. Orioles baseball on Masson, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest starting lineup. Let's take a look at how the Orioles will line up today against Martin Perez, the left-hander on the hill for the Red Sox. Austin Hayes in center field again today. I think we'll see him most of this season in center field and leading off the order. Hanser Alberto, who had a base hit last night. He's at second base for the Birds. Jose Iglesias at shortstop. Ben talked about him in the open. He had a double last night. Anthony Santander is in left field. Renato Nunez is the DH today. Pedro Severino is behind the plate. Yeah, day game after a night game. He's back there again today. Chris Davis is at first base. He moves down to 7th in the lineup. Pat Valleca saw a little action late last night. He gets the start at third base today. And Cedric Mullins is in right field.
And the Orioles will face Martin Perez, the veteran. You see the Orioles 8 right-handers in that lineup. You see what Perez did last year with Minnesota, 5.12 ERA. Boy, and I think Boston definitely hoping he can start like he did last year for Boston. He was 8-3 at the All-Star break, and of course he was signed to be a 5th starter, but that role has changed with the Red Sox, of course, with Rodriguez out on the IL right now, and Chris Sale on the DL as well, and Martin Perez's role has changed from 5-starter to 2-starter now.
Well, one of the things with him, he is tough against left-handers, and that's probably one of the reasons that Severino's catching today. Brandon Hyde trying to get as many right-hand bats in there. Perez, I should say, last year only gave up 1 homer to 148 left-hand hitters, and he held lefties to a 228 batting average. So get the right-handers in there when you can.
And defensively, Andrew Benintendi in left field, Jackie Bradley Jr., the youngster Verdugo, which was a big part of the trade to the Dodgers, and David Price went over to the Dodgers, and then Zhu-Wei Lin up the middle at shortstop. Peraza will be at second base. On the corners, Devers, and Moreland will be at first base, and Plawecki, Kevin Plawecki, will do the receiving for Perez. And our Taco Bell take. Here are the keys to the game. Cobb, stay out of the middle of the plate. We touched on that already. Boston is too good, and they're too deep to leave pitches in the middle of the plate. The Orioles hitters lay off the changeup from Perez. Perez worked really, really hard this offseason with his changeup to improve it. It's his out pitch. If the Orioles can recognize it and keep it down in the zone and lay off of it, I think they got a real shot. And of course, you got to flush what happened last night. It was the first game. It was a little bit of a disaster in a lot of ways, but it's just one game of the season. So the Orioles, a new start, a new day. Here we go with game 2 of the 2020 season.
28-year-old lefty Martin Perez ready to get rolling. Originally signed by Texas. First pitch is down low for a ball. Austin Hayes, you see the numbers, came up and had a real good September. Opened up a lot of eyes. Ball base hit into right field, so shifted around, and Austin Hayes with a knock to start the game for the Orioles.
That's the way you want to start it. Beat the shift. The shift, everybody was swung over, including Peraza, the second baseman, on the left side of the infield, and Austin Hayes just shoots one right up towards second base. Leadoff single. There's the shift. You can look at it. Hits it right away second base.
And a good way to get it started for the Birds. Got some speed on first. We said beautiful day in New England. 85, mostly cloudy. Winds out of the east at 9 miles an hour, and relatively low humidity at 46%. Hanser Alberto swinging on the first pitch.
No surprise there, right? Aggressive.
Come out hacking. That's what he does.
Yeah, you can't argue with the numbers. Hit 305 overall last year. Hit 398 against left-handers last year. Second best in all of baseball.
88 hits against lefties, the most since Tony Gwynn. We talked about that last night in 1987. And there's a drive into the corner. Extra bases. Hayes coming into third, and he'll stay there on the double from Hanser Alberto. So a nice start with runners on second and third and nobody down.
Boy, just a fastball, middle. Watch Alberto pull the hands in, and he finds the barrel and hits a dart down the left field line. I thought for a second with Austin Hayes and the way he runs, he may have a chance to score, but held up at third base. But here come the Orioles here in the first inning, second and third, and nobody out.
Ben, something had to give. We talked about Perez being outstanding against lefties, and then Alberto, who just wears out right-handers, but he got a lot of left-handers last year, too, when you have as many hits as he had.
Yes, he did.
So now our RBI opportunity for Jose Iglesias, 2 in scoring position. Nobody down. Infield playing pretty much straight up, as is the outfield.
Yeah, and these are these situations, right? The Orioles have to be good in. When you don't need a base hit to score a run, you see the middle infielders all playing back. Worst case scenario, you hit a ground ball to one of the middle infielders. You plate the first run of the game. If you get a base hit, that's even better.
There's that changeup breaking away and off the bat.
Well, the Orioles hit 2 fastballs for base hits right away, and you can see Perez, when he gets in trouble, we talked about the changeup. It is his best pitch. It's his out pitch, and that was a good one. So fastball 92, 93 is what we're seeing. Change up about 10 miles an hour off velocity-wise from the fastball.
1-1 to Iglesias. Bounce foul. 1-2.
Perez is a veteran pitcher. He has been around for a while, 7 years with the Rangers, 1 with Minnesota. It's more of a little cut fastball. He gets right in on the hand. So he's going to show you 4 or 5 different pitches. He's got a looping breaking ball, a hard slider, a cutter, that really good changeup, and of course a fastball as well.
His long look in at Plawecki. Now he's ready. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Just got it off the end of the bat to stay alive.
Martin Perez has won 10 or more games 4 times in his big league career. 2017 with the Rangers was his best season. He went 13-12 with a 4.8 ERA.
Orioles didn't score until the 6th inning last night. They've got a chance here to jump out in front. 2 on, nobody down. A leadoff base hit from Austin Hayes, and then a double into the left field corner from Hanser Alberto.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity early for the Orioles, one that they have to take advantage of here.
One-two pitch hit hard down the left field line, foul. There aren't many players in today's game that change their approach with 2 strikes. As maybe years ago, guys would shorten up. Some guys would move up on the bat. But here's a situation where you want to make contact.
And Iglesias really is one of these guys. Doesn't strike out a whole lot typically. Not a big power guy, although he did have a career high 11 home runs last year, 59 RBIs with Cincinnati. But he has an inside out swing, meaning he stays on the ball a little bit longer. We saw him drive that ball to right center field last night for a base hit.
Perez was signed by Texas when he was 16 years old. Been a pro ball for a long time. Steps off.
Yeah, career record for Perez, 53-56 with a 4.7 ERA.
One-two to Iglesias. Got him to chase on a pitch away. Big strikeout for Perez.
Well, that's a huge strikeout for Perez. Worked Iglesias inside. Then you see the catcher Plawecki set up on the outside corner. That ball just fades off, almost like a 2-seam fastball that just kind of runs off the outside corner right there.
And now it's up to Anthony Santander to try to drive in a run or 2. Santander last night 1 for 3, scored a run. Switch hitter now hitting from the right side. Had something to hit there, Ben. Left it out over the plate. Fouled it back.
Yeah, middle. That's the one you want to hit. Santander had 1 of the 6 hits last night. He went 1 for 4 with a double.
Runners on second and third, 1 out. Orioles trying to get on the board here in the first inning against Martin Perez. Got it in on his hands, and Perez up 0-2.
Perez not an extremely hard thrower. The fastball is not even big league average anymore, but he's not afraid to do this and then throw that fastball. It's more of a cut fastball, but it's kind of natural for him. He gets it right in on the hands, and you're going to see that a lot because, again, he speeds the bat up. He pitches inside, and then he can go to that changeup. Once he speeds your bat up, he wants to slow it down with that changeup on the outside part of the plate.
Hayes and Alberto take their leads. Didn't get him to chase there, 1-2. Bert's hoping to cash in, put a little pressure on the opponents, right? Get out to a lead, score a couple of runs here in the first inning.
Yeah, it's nothing like a starting pitcher. If you're Alex Cobb taking the mound for the first time with a lead on the road, that is big.
Again, inside, in on the hands again, and Santander fights it off to stay alive.
Yeah, Perez quickly went away from the fastball. First 2 batters, Hayes and Alberto, both got base hits on the fastball, but since then it's been changeups and that cut fastball in to the right-handers, away with the changeup. You mentioned how tough he has been on left-handed batters. Of course, the reason why Brandon Hyde, 8 of 9 batters for the Orioles, all right-handed. Chris Davis, the only true left-hander in the lineup today for the Orioles.
They only gave up 1 long ball last year to 148 left-hand hitters. 1-2 to Santander. Way up high. Renato Nunez on deck as you look at Chris Davis. Alberto and Hayes take their leads.
And Red Sox defense now not all the way back in that middle infield, more what we call in the halfway position. So if it's a hard ground ball hit to one of the middle infielders, Zue, Leno, Peraza, they could come home and cut the run off.
That's outside off the plate. Santander down to 0-2, has worked the count full. 16 pitches in the inning already for Perez.
Well, this was the growth of Santander in a lot of ways last year, right? More patience at the plate.
It comes with experience too.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, and we talked about those guys, those young guys who got consistent big league at bats for the first time. And there's, I mean, people can tell you how to hit and what you need to do, but there's no substitution for going out there and failing yourself, succeeding yourself, and getting that experience. Because once you get that experience on your bat, you start to get 1,000 big league at bats, or if you're a pitcher, 200 big league innings. That's when the light bulb starts to flicker a little bit.
Fly ball into right field and grabbed out there by Verdugo. Hayes unable to advance.
Well, the ball just wasn't hit deep enough. I'm guessing I didn't see the jump that if Hayes went directly back to the bag to tag up on this, or if he went home right away, it was hard to see. Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
you know,
a little late though, right?
Yeah, that's a little bit, you know, of a base running error on Hayes' part right there, because you're taught, you know, less than 2 out. If the ball gets in the air, your first move at third base has to be go back to the bag and get ready to tag up. Watch the move right there. See, he hesitates just enough right there, and by the time he gets back to the bag, the right fielder Verdugo had already caught the ball and got it in. So a little bit of a base running error.
Momentum's going the wrong way, right? You got to turn around and start over again.
With 2 outs, of course, you just you hit home. If they catch it, the inning's over. If it falls in, you score a run. But with nobody out, 1 out in that situation, get back to the bag, tag up, and then bust it home.
If it falls, you're going to score anyway. Nunez with a big swing. Drive way back and off the monster. That'll score 2. And Nunez with a head-first dive. He's safe at second. Well, some clutch 2-out hitting. The Orioles had 2 chances to get him in, and he got through Iglesias and Santander, but Renato Nunez with a 2 RBI double off the monster.
How about you, Renato Nunez? 2-seam fastball right in the middle of the plate, and boy, just it looked like Perez was about to wiggle out of what could have been a really good inning for the Orioles. Renato comes up and pounds one off the left field wall, and with 2 out, there was no doubt that both Hayes and Alberto was going to score. And how about Renato headfirst into second base with a double and 2 RBIs?
Well, that would have been tough situation, right? Second and third, nobody out. If Perez, he walks off the mound feeling great, the Orioles are going, man, that doesn't feel good. There's a wild pitch in the dirt, and Nunez will advance to third. But real clutch piece of hitting there. Nunez jumped him.
I love it. Aggressive in the zone. Had a plan when he went to the plate. First ball, fastball hunting, and he got one he could drive.
Umpires today, Marty Foster's behind the plate, Alan Porter at first base, Sean Barber at second, and Mark Wegner behind the plate last night. He's at third base. Ball and no strikes to Severino. Takes the cutter inside, 2-0. Pedro Severino generally might have been off today. Day game after night game, but Brandon Hyde says, I need his right-hand bat. He's a tough young kid. He'll be off tomorrow, and Chance Sisco will catch against the right-hand pitcher tomorrow. Got a chance to add another one here with Nunez at third base, 2 down. Orioles with 3 hits in the inning. Hayes led off with a base hit to right field. Alberto doubled into the left field corner, and then with 2 on and 2 out, the big hit from Renato Nunez off the monster to drive in 2. 2-1 pitch. There's the changeup down and away. 22 pitches already, so they're making them work. Coaching staff and managers all in masks. Ron Renicky, brother to former Oriole Gary Renicky, skipper. There's a good changeup down and away.
Well, that's a good one, too, because it's a strike out of the hand, and the hitter sees it out of the hand. Martin Perez worked, believe it or not, with Pedro Martinez, who had as good a changeup as you'll ever see.
That's a pretty good teacher,
worked
right?
with him a lot this offseason and improved that changeup, and you can tell it comes out of the same window. It's the same arm action, and it starts as a strike. By the time it travels that 60 feet 6 inches, it just kind of leaks right off the outside corner, and that was an outstanding.
Davis on deck. We'll see if he gets a chance. Full count pitch to Severino. Check swing roller down to third, and they won't get him. And another run scores. So Devers couldn't come up with it. We'll see how they score that. I think he had a chance to get the catcher, right? Catcher speed.
So.
Yeah. If
Pedro doesn't run great, and yeah, I think if he feels this ball cleanly does Devers, he throws out Pedro Severino. But right there, the ball comes up and hits just the heel of the glove. But the Orioles will take it any way they can get it. So you get a wild pitch that moves Renato Nunez over to third base, puts him just 90 feet away. And the error scores him. We were thinking going to be an error.
It's a little different than last night. Orioles waited until the 6th until they got on the board. Only scored 2 runs in the game, and they have scored 3 already. Our stats with Lowe's.
You can see RBI leaders at Fenway Park. That's since 2019. Renato Nunez, RBI last night, 2 RBIs already. Had an outstanding year last year at Fenway Park. Chris Davis with 6. Mancini.
That's an unearned run that the Orioles just scored. Give the error to Devers. Give the run to the Orioles. 3-0 lead. Davis a ball and a strike. Long inning here. Little roller to second. That should do it. The flip to second for the force out. But the Orioles get 3 in the inning. Birds on top. 3-0. First inning. 3 hits in the inning and a little better start than last night as we take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup. Benintendi's out in left field. He's leading off. J.D. Martinez is the DH. Rafael Devers at third base. Mitch Moreland makes a start tonight. He's today at first base. Jose Perazo had a big opener last night. He's at second base. Alex Verdugo, obtained in the Mookie Betts trade, is in right field. Jackie Bradley's in center. Kevin Plawecki behind the plate today. And Zue Lin is the shortstop as Bogaerts gets a day off.
And they'll face the veteran right-hander Alex Cobb. See what he did last year. Only 3 starts. Had that hip problem. Hip surgery kept him out of 2019 and 2018. His first year with the Orioles went 5-15. But the good news for the Orioles and Cobb, it's a familiar place, a place he is comfortable. Cobb has won 6 of his 8 decisions at Fenway Park. In career versus Boston, he has been really good. 7-6 with a 3.8 ERA. Fastball's going to be a low 90s type fastball, but the out pitch for Cobb, and keep an eye on it. He has to have the fastball command, but that split finger fastball that he has, that's the out pitch for him. And if he gets that thing dancing, he can get some outs and rack up some strikeouts too.
Benintendi to lead it off, takes a strike. 92 right over the heart of the plate. 13 homers, 68 driven in last year for the Red Sox. Left fielder.
Starts Benintendi off with a fastball just on the outside part at 92. Comes back with that looping breaking ball.
See Valleca moving over to the right side of second base. I guess Ben on 0-2, no threat of a bunt. You align a little differently.
No doubt. I like the way Cobb comes back with a fastball inside just to keep Benintendi honest. Now I wouldn't be surprised if he goes right to the split finger fastball. Looks like coming back inside again.
That's where Severino's set up.
Yes,
they got him. Yep. Strike at the top of the zone at 92.
Boy, Benintendi, one of those hitters, like a lot of hitters, is taught to wait a little bit. You got to respect the split finger fastball, the off-speed stuff, and just back-to-back fastballs. This was just a 4-seamer. Belt tied inner third of the plate and locks up Benintendi. Can't do it any better than that.
You think Benintendi thought it was belt high?
Looked like he thought it was high, but I don't think the point is, I don't think he's looking fastball in that situation.
That's it.
Because you hear so much about Cobb's off-speed stuff, and you hear so much about the split-finger fastball. I got to be thinking he was behind in the count. He's looking off-speed. Cobb gets him 92 right on the inside part.
J.D. Martinez wears a lot of people out. Alex Cobb among them, 9 for 16 with a homer against Cobb, and you see the numbers he put up last night, 3 for 5, drove in 3 runs. He's a tough out no matter who's on the mound. Cobb impressive against the Nats in the exhibition game.
He really was, especially the first couple innings. I mean, he was dotting I's with that fastball, both inside and out. Showed a good breaking ball. Made one mistake with a split finger fastball, gets a hit for a home run. Other than that, it was really good.
Fastball, strike 2 and 1.
I think that's where you need to pitch J.D. Martinez. If you watch him get a lot of his hits, balls are up, out, over the plate where he likes it. But you can't stay in there. Now, he's too good. You got to show him some stuff on the outside part. But if you want to get him out, I think the inside part, especially when you're ahead in the count, and you see Cobb going back in there again, is the place to get him.
That one got a lot of the plate, and it's dumped into left field for a base hit. So it's a 4 for 6 start for J.D. Martinez.
The Orioles defense will line up like this behind Alex Cobb, Anthony Santander in left field, Austin Hayes roaming in center. Cedric Mullins gets to start over in right field. Up the middle, Jose Iglesias, Hanser Alberto will be your double play combination. Pat Valleca, the utility player, gets to start at third base. Crush Chris Davis back over at first, and Pedro Severino will be behind the plate.
Martinez takes his lead at first. Rafael Devers steps in 0 for 4 last night. One of the American League's top hitters a year ago. Breaking ball for a strike. .32 and 115. Yeah, power numbers, but then you look and he hits .311. So there's average with power, just a complete hitter. Devers was charged with an error in the first inning that led to that third Oriole run. Cobb takes a glance over to first base. Now he's ready. Fouled straight down, 1 and 2. Mitch Moreland, the on-deck hitter. Orioles on top 3-0. Bottom of the first in Boston. Second of a 3-game series. Cobb with the 1-2. He got him. Up and in.
Well, I tell you what, Alex Cobb doing some work on the inside part of the plate to these Boston hitters right now. And I mean, that's just dot and I. Pedro's set up right on the inside part, and watch where this ball is delivered. Just perfectly placed, and again, ahead in the count. Hitters aren't looking for the ball in the inside part of the plate.
Makes it easy on the umpire, too, right? When you hit the target, yeah.
You put the glove there and you hit it, that ball might have been a ball off the inside corner, but when it pegs the glove like that, you're going to get the call more times than not.
Here's Mitch Moreland, veteran first baseman. Solid defensively. Whoop. That looked like a mix-up there a little bit, right?
And I don't know how, because there's nobody at second base.
Was it pitch up, or what was going on?
It was definitely a breaking ball, and I think Pedro thought it was going to actually come down a little bit, and it never really did. He's expecting this ball to drop. There's the spin. It just kind of slips out. He's expecting it to come down.
Ooh.
Luckily, it hit on the shoulder. Glove, yeah, it hit his shoulder, kept the ball in front. Martinez not able to take an extra 90. There's the first split finger fastball of the day. In a perfect world, you'd like to go through the lineup once and maybe save one of your pitches, but Alex Cobb is one of those rhythm pitchers that really wants to get all of his pitches established early, especially in the first inning. You kind of get a feel for him. We've seen a good breaking ball. His fastball command is outstanding so far, and that's the first split finger fastball we've seen.
Moreland's been in the postseason 7 of the last 10 years, so he's played in a lot of big games. 2-0 pitch to him. Grounded to second. Valleca over to first. And the Red Sox are retired. We go ahead to the second. Orioles on top, 3-0. Have won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit today. Play any fast game from Maryland Lottery and enter your tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/homerun. Orioles on top, 3-0. Come to bat here in the second inning. 3 hits for the Orioles in the first inning off of Perez, who got into a jam early with Hayes leading off with a base hit and then a double from Hanser. Hayes takes a strike. Check it. This is Pat Valleca, the number 8 hitter, playing third base today. Got him on the infield, pulled around, got the final out. Valleca with some major league experience with the Rockies. See the shift on for him as well with Peraza, the second baseman, over on the shortstop side. Pretty good swing there as he fouled it back. Brandon Hyde behind the mask. Count even at 2-2. Orioles home opener here in Baltimore on Wednesday with the Miami Marlins in. John Means on schedule to pitch Thursday. He'll have a side session to make sure everything's all right, but it looks like he'll come off the IL and make his first start of the year on Thursday. He was scheduled to be the opening day starter, and if you get a healthy John Means back, that's a big boost to any rotation.
No doubt. You know, and Hunter Harvey I saw was moved down to Bowie as well, which means hopefully he's going to start playing some catch too, and hopefully get back in action before too long.
That ball hit hard into right field for a base hit. We saw the shift, and Valleca takes advantage, and that's the fourth Oriole hit of the game. Join the fight with Trey against colon cancer. Show your support and raise awareness with an exclusive Baltimore Orioles Fight t-shirt for just $25. All net proceeds benefit the Colorectal Cancer Alliance. Get yours today at Orioles.com/auction.
We saw Trey on a Zoom call yesterday. Yeah. He looked good. He sounded great. He sounded upbeat. About halfway through his treatments. I think he said he got about 4 or 5 more treatments left. Going to end.
Yeah, he's going to finish up. Yeah, September 21st or so. Yep. Here's Cedric Mullins. A lot of you remember his story last year. He was the leadoff hitter and center fielder on opening day, and he just got himself buried. Just got into a slump band and pressed, and eventually was sent down to Norfolk, and then even struggled there, yeah, and got sent to Bowie, and got himself going a little bit in Double-A. Finished the year strong and worked hard in this offseason. Looking to bunt, takes it up high.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on him last year. And, you know, as a young player, really any player, when you get off to a bad start, and it was a rough start for him, it began to snowball on him, and it was difficult. And, of course, got sent down. You never question the defense. He can flat out go get him. We saw him made an outstanding play in an exhibition game the other day. But you're right, eventually made his way to Double-A. But toward the end of the year, he found his way into the playoffs. He was outstanding for the Orioles in Bowie and Double-A. But then this offseason, Orioles sent him to a private hitting coach, and they changed the path of his swing a little bit, and it's paid off. He's looked a lot better. It's more compact. He's got some confidence that he didn't have before. So you hope for a guy like him that it'll translate to some more base hits. Because when you talk about being able to go get it and being a valuable part of an outfield, steal you some bases.
And he lost him down low on 4 pitches.
Well, last night, I tell you what, Austin Hayes came up, saw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, first pitch out of the hand of Evaldi. Then he gets a slider, and he drives this out to right center field. 101 off the bat. The major league average just 88. Boy, I tell you, Pollard just too good. Pollard got a really good jump, covered 81 feet. Only a 15% chance of catching that ball, and Pollard really ran it down pretty easily.
Is everybody in your house always online at the same time? Well, power your connected home with fast, reliable gig speed internet from Xfinity. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. So the Orioles back in business. They had second and third, nobody out in the first inning. 2 on, nobody out here in the second with Austin Hayes at the plate. He got it started with a base hit. He scored the game's first run.
That's what you like to see from the Orioles, right? When you score an inning, then put pressure again. Constant pressure. We saw a lot of times last year with this offense where it would score some runs in an inning or two, then it would kind of go away for 4 or 5 or 6 innings. And I remember Brandon Hyde said, we got to do a better job of putting more consistent pressure.
Hayes with a looper to second. Grab there for the first out.
Really good pitch by Martin Perez right there. Gets right in on the hands of Austin Hayes. Watch the action on this cut fastball. See if it continues to work and just bore inside on Austin Hayes. He does everything he can do. He pulls the hand in and tries to get the barrel to it, but just can't do it. Not enough to get it over the head of Peraza.
See on the replay, Ben, the ball moving from the barrel to the trademark,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
If you're a pitcher, that's where you want to live, there and off the end of the bat. Try to stay off the barrel of the bat.
Hanser Alberto doubled in the first inning, scored a run, hits it hard to right center. That's down for a base hit. That'll score a run and move the runners to first and third. So the hitting machine, Hanser Alberto, back at it again. A hit last night, 2 for 2 here today. And the Orioles now up 4-0, and Perez is on the ropes.
Surprise, surprise. Hanser Alberto wearing out some left-handed pitching. Just a changeup on the outside part. Watch him lean over the dish and keep his head on his shoulder, stays in, and he finds a barrel right out towards right center field. Excellent piece of hitting, no doubt about it. Pat Valleca was going to score, and Cedric Mullins, with the way he runs, easily goes to first and third. So 4-0 Orioles now. Runners on first and third and just 1 out.
Little action out in the Red Sox bullpen. It's fouled off. 40 pitches already and only 4 outs for Martin Perez. And nobody feels better about this than Alex Cobb, right? Bring it on, boys.
Sitting over there, I'm just kicked back saying just keep scoring them.
Iglesias with a good swing. Fly ball into left field. That's down for a base hit. Mullins in to score. Iglesias stops at first base with an RBI, and the Birds got the bats going today.
Already the 6th hit of the game. The Orioles had 6 hits in the entire game last night. This is a pretty good piece of hitting right here. Iglesias goes down and watch him a little bit out in front, but just drops the head of the bat on it. Laces it down the left field line, and Iglesias continues to hit for the Orioles.
Orioles 5 hits already with just 1 out here in the second inning. Osich up in the bullpen, the left-hander for the Red Sox. Two on, runners in first and second, 1 down.
Well, this is exactly, if you're Brandon Hyde, this is exactly what you wanted to see from your young position players. 3rd youngest position player group in all of Major League Baseball, the Orioles this year. Couldn't muster a whole lot last night, only 6 hits, but how did they respond to that? About 3 runs in the first and 2 already here in the second inning. 6 hits to this point already.
Santander, oh, the umpire took a shot right there. Wow. Marty Foster got staggered. Plawecki checking back on him. Watch it knock him back for a second. Ooh.
Got him on his heels a little bit. Looks like he's all right.
That's easy for us to say.
Yeah.
Marty says, let's go. 1-1, the count on Anthony Santander. Had a base hit last night. The fly ball to right field back in the first inning. Threw it by him, 93.
There's a just good old four-seam fastball there. You can see the perfect backspin, perfect rotation.
Perez ahead in the count, 1-2 to Santander. 2 runners on, 1 down. Popped him up. Infield fly rule called. The catch made for the second out. Two down, and that'll 3 down. That's the end of the inning. But the Orioles get a couple more, and they lead it 5-0. Well, a rather abrupt end to the inning. The Orioles on top of this one, 5-0. 6 hits here in the first 2 innings, 5 runs in, and it looked like Hanser Alberto forgot to count to 1, 2, or 3, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Infield fly rule, but I think Hanser might have thought that it was 2 out when the ball was popped up. He got far enough off second base, and that was a double play that ended the inning for the Orioles. So a couple of early base running errors for the Orioles, but it hadn't hurt them to this point. Still got 5 runs on 6 hits, and Alex Cobb goes out for the bottom of the second inning.
Peraza, Verdugo, and Bradley, the 3 scheduled for the Red Sox here in their half of the second. Had some fireworks last night in Major League Baseball. Joe Madden making his debut with the Angels as their manager, but Oakland's Matt Olson got to play some extra innings with a guy on first base. He hit a grand slam walk-off, and Oakland a 7-3 winner over the Angels in 10 in rather dramatic fashion. I bet you the crowd went crazy, Ben.
Lefty on lefty action. I tell you what, Olson hit that one. I mean, a long one. Walk-off win for the A's.
Jose Peraza, welcome to Boston, right? 4 for 5 last night in his debut with the Red Sox. Drove in 2 runs and scored 2. .275 career hitter. Experienced. Bounces it to the left side. Iglesias, 1 out. Bring home the fun and excitement of Birdland with Digital Kids Corner. Check out tons of kid-friendly baseball-themed games, videos, puzzles, and other learning activities that are perfect for the whole family. Join the fun today and learn more at Orioles.com/Digital Kids Corner. Grandkids may need that one, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better write down Digital Kids Corner. Cobb with a breaking ball up to Alex Verdugo. We were talking before we got on the air, Ben, about the Mookie Betts deal, and you never want to lose a superstar, and we see the contract that Mookie is will be a Dodger for a long time and have a lot of money. The Dodgers paid him very well. That's a strike. But they get Verdugo, who should be pretty much an everyday contributor, and then Jeter Downs, who might be either their first #1 prospect or #2 prospect, and likely their shortstop of the future. So they did get some return on Mookie Betts. And Verdugo lines it into the left field corner. Takes a hop back toward the infield.
That must have just
Just
there's
been
not
fouled.
a lot of
Yeah.
room down there. If you look, you can see it just about a couple of feet.
Ooh,
That ball
just missed.
just inches foul. Yeah, I really think Boston really did well assuming they didn't want to keep Mookie Betts and what they got in return, because Verdugo's a young guy too, right? 24 years old. He put up some pretty good numbers with the Dodgers last year, hit 294, 12 homers and 44 RBIs. You talked about Jeter Downs, the shortstop of the future.
1-2 pitch, and it's Luke Iglesias right there for the second out.
Well, Alex Cobb continues to wear out the inside part of the plate. This goes to show you don't have to have an exploding fastball. You just got to be able to locate. Command is where it's at, and it's always will be command. We get so caught up in the analytics and guys that throw 95 and high spin rates, and that's great. I mean, from an analytical standpoint, you tell me, hey, you can have a lot of success here and here, but from a mechanical standpoint, I still got to be able to get those balls to those spots to be able to enjoy what you're telling me and have success. Well, Alex Cobb,
delivery and all those mechanics, right?
Alex Cobb knows what he does well. He knows how to pitch, but his mechanics are so he can repeat, and therefore he can command the ball, throw it where he wants to throw it. And Alex Cobb to this point looks outstanding.
Two down, nobody on. Jackie Bradley at the plate.
We talked about this last night. If you ever want to see a pitcher and want to know how he's throwing, watch the catcher and watch Pedro Severino. See where he sets up. See how close Cobb comes to hitting those spots.
Inside this time.
Look at that, just perfectly done.
But it's a base hit up the middle, gets through the infield into center field, and Bradley on at first.
And you'll take that, right? I mean, he threw the ball exactly where he wanted to throw it, down and in. It's just a chopper because of the shift. There's a little bit of a hole there, a little bit of inside-out swing by Jackie Bradley Jr., but sometimes the hitters can be a little bit better than the pitchers at times.
Nice little somersault, Iglesias. We will see some special things from him defensively.
It's flashy. It is flashy, and he can do it.
He was runner-up Rookie of the Year his first year with the Tigers. All-Star game. Bradley smiling down at first base. Should be. 3 hits last night. Another knock today. Jackie Bradley among the league leaders, hitting 800, right? I don't think he can sustain it, though. Do you, Ben? I don't think he's an 800 hitter.
No, but he's capable. I mean, we've seen Jackie Bradley. He puts up some power numbers every year. You know, 21 and 62. The average a little bit off last year at 225, but he's quite capable of being a 250, 260 hitter.
Throw over to first to keep him honest there.
And, you know, with the loss of Mookie Betts, they're going to need some guys to step up from an offensive standpoint. But when you talk about Boston, I mean, look, the offense is going to be good. And we hit on it a lot last night, and they've been one of the top offenses in baseball the last couple of years, averaging, you know, 5.5 runs a game, which puts them towards the top 3 or 4 in the American League every year.
Ball and no strikes, and it got him on the elbow. So Plawecki hit by the pitch. Let's see if he hit the protector. Yep.
And one of those two-seam fastballs, just a little bit too far in with this one by Cobb. But I still love the fact that he's wearing out the inside corner. Last night, a couple of Orioles got hit. Austin Hayes takes one off the ribs at 92, and I promise you, there is a mark there this morning with that one. Alberto gets one off the left thigh, and that thing's going to be bruised up too.
Welcome to big league baseball, right? So Zhu-Wei Lin came in for defensive purposes late last night. Got a base hit in his only at bat.
Got another one of these youngsters for the Red Sox. Only had 20 big league at bats last year.
Well, you mentioned Bogaerts had been nursing a hamstring injury in a day game after a night game, because I would think Bogaerts is going to be in a lineup 58 or 60 games out of 60, but maybe you want to be a little careful with that hammy.
After night game, he'll be back in there tomorrow, I'm sure.
Timeout call by home plate umpire Marty Foster. I'm trying to get that third out and get his team back at the plate. There's the minor league numbers on Lynn last year. That one pulled foul. Looked like he left that one out over the plate, but A little quick on it.
Off a split finger fastball, and Lynn just out in front of it. Lynn had 2 hits and 20 at bats last year.
Outfield shading him a little toward right field. Infield pretty much straight up, a little more up the middle with Iglesias. No, pretty good defense, right? Hit up right to him. That'll do it. Red Sox retired in the second. Orioles on top 5-0. Vision benefits to area employers and individuals. A lot to be smiling about for Oriole fans today. So far, so good. Birds on top of the Red Sox 5-0. 3 in the first, 2 more in the second. And the Birds started off here in the third with Renato Nunez at the plate. He delivered a 2-run, 2-out double back in the first inning to get him started. Perez ahead, a strike to Nunez. Threw a lot of pitches in those first 2 innings.
Yeah, Orioles have done a nice job laying off some tough pitches. We talked about laying off that changeup. They've done it for the most part. Perez has got a couple of big outs on his changeup, but the Orioles have recognized it pretty good.
Swing and a miss on a pitch upstairs. Nunez is going to get his money's worth.
Yeah, we talked about the numbers last year, right? 31 homers, 90 RBIs by Renato Nunez. And don't forget, in the middle of all that was a pretty good slump, where he didn't rack up any hits at all for about 26 at-bats or so.
Pitch down low, 2-2. Nunez, Severino, and Davis, the first 3 for the Birds this inning.
Kind of young to be a DH, but Brendan Hyde, Mike Elias think he can be a guy that hits you 30 homers every year. Now, he's working hard on his defense, too, and you're going to see him from time to time at third base.
That's bounce foul down the third baseline. He made a real good play the other night. Ball that took him into foul territory and fired it across the infield for the out against the Nationals.
Well, that's what the hope is. I mean, the hope is he can improve himself enough on defense to be maybe an everyday third baseman.
Or even a part-time third baseman, right? You can do some left-right stuff and move guys around, more flexibility. 2-2 pitch. Whoa, way up.
One thing about it, the bat works. He can hit.
Yeah, I think a lot of things in baseball have changed, but if you can be a 30-plus home run guy, there's usually a job for you.
Well, there's been an old saying, been around for a long time. If you drive in more than you let in, there's a place for you somewhere.
Pitch count up to 52.
8th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
Perez has had to work for everything. Nunez with a couple of hits in this young season, 1 for 4 last night. Drove in a run, 2 more today, and fouls that one back. No, that could be in play. Moreland, nice running catch. Mitch Moreland's been around a long time, and he's been special with the glove at first base, and this wasn't an easy play at all.
Yeah, Mitch Moreland played his college ball over at Mississippi State in the SEC, and boy, he gets a good jump on this ball. Just kind of right off the end of the bat. You see him take off running and judges it perfectly, running over his shoulder. Big fella moved pretty good.
On the Rangers record for consecutive games without an error at first base. Went 90 straight games without committing an error. So that's one reason he's there, but he's also got a pretty good bat. Severino takes strike 1. Severino reached on an error by Devers that scored a run in the first inning. Just a slow roller up the third baseline. This time Jackie Bradley will take care of him. 2 down. T-Mobile is your ticket to the game now through August 3rd. Customers can score free MLB TV at T-Mobile.com/MLB. So a couple of quick outs. Well, not really with Nunez. He had an extended at bat, but first 2 Orioles go down here, and it's up to Chris Davis. Davis hit into a fielder's choice in the first inning. That tails inside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. So now he's in a hitter's count, Ben.
It's when you look.
What's the approach?
Well, the approach is you look for your pitch in your location. So Chris Davis probably looking fastball up, out, over the plate. And if you get it, you have a good swing at it. Instead, he's a nice job of laying off a cut fastball. So that tells me right now that Chris Davis is in front of where he was last year. Because last year seems like he wasn't recognizing pitches a whole lot. He recognized that breaking ball out of the hand right away and laid off of it, even in a plus count.
You know he'd like to get a knock of any kind. He started last year 0 for 33. The much talked about slump. Takes a 4-pitch walk and he reaches. Started 0 for 33, and then you went back to the previous year and it was 0 for 54 and a major league record, and obviously much talked about. So after having a nice spring training, especially in Sarasota, we'd like to see him get on the board with some good at-bats.
Yeah, if there's one guy you feel sorry for because of all this, it's Chris Davis, because the way he started off in spring training was just amazing. I mean, just really had a plan when he went to the plate. He was a difference maker, hit 3 home runs in a short amount of time. The average was high, wasn't striking out. But, you know, it hurt some guys and helped others. You know, take DJ Stewart, for instance. You know, if the season would have started on time because of his ankle surgery, he never would have made the opening day roster. But because of extra time, he heals up, and now he makes an opening day roster and an opening day start yesterday. So
Pat Valaika with a base hit in his only at bat, scored a run. 2 down. Davis at first. Ball and no strikes to Valaika, who rips it right to the third baseman, Devers. Red Sox coming to bat, bottom of the third. Orioles on top, 5-0.
Just difference in win percentage the last 5 seasons. There's the Orioles in third right there at .368 win percentage on the road, though. That's what they want to improve on, and certainly off to a good start today as the Orioles are up 5-0.
Well, there's some things a little different in baseball this year. There's Brandon Hyde with his mask on. Obviously, that's different as we look at players, managers, coaches, some players in the game wearing masks. And it's also different for us. We're at Camden Yards today, broadcasting the Orioles and Red Sox from Fenway Park. Baseball broadcasters not traveling this year. So a lot of things are different, but I think the one thing that we're all happy about is the game is here.
Yes.
The game's here, and we've got a 60-game season, and we've got 16 teams eligible for the playoffs this year.
Well, nothing quite screams normalcy in a very unusual year than having America's pastime back on the field, no matter what it looks like, right? I mean, I think everybody's in agreement. We're just glad baseball's back.
Well, between the lines, Ben, the game doesn't look any different, right? I mean, the atmosphere is different. We don't have fans. And obviously, that makes things much different. I can imagine what would have happened last night with that Grand Slam walk-off, right? With fans going crazy. But things are different this year. But fans are with us here on Masson. And we'll be here for you all season long.
But I'm going to tell you, potentially this year could be one of the most exciting years ever in the history of baseball, because you know, now you got 16 teams getting in. It's a 60-game sprint. And if you follow NASCAR, right, it's like a 5-lap shootout. You know, it's wide open from the beginning.
Cobb 1-1 to Benintendi. Swings through that one. Alex Cobb talked about how he has been disappointed with himself, his performance, the injuries. and feels he owes a lot to his teammates and the fans here in Baltimore this year, and is trying to pay it off. He's a quality guy, no question about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, he signed a big contract a couple of years ago, you know. 4-year, $57 million contract. He goes 5-15 in his first year. Of course, he pitched better than those numbers, but the run support just wasn't there for him. Last year was almost a total loss as he had hip surgery, so he's wanting to go out and be a big part of this, you know. And tip of the cap to him, he could have opted out of this season.
Benintendi with a line shot up the middle, but it's grabbed. Nice job. Valleca right there beyond second base to make the play.
Yeah, Valleca over in the shift, playing the third base position, but almost straight up second base, and that's what makes Pat Valleca so valuable. He can play lots of different positions, lays out to the backhand side, and robs Benintendi of a base hit.
How do you score that one on your card, Ben? Do you put a little arrow over there to show that he was not at third base when he made that play?
Technically, I guess it's an L5. I put L4, but I mean, it's an L5.
Yeah.
But going back to Cobb, you know, I mean, he had surgery last year, just had a child, a young child at home, and could have opted out of this season, you know. But tip of the cap to him, he wanted to come be a part of this. And I know Oriole fans and, of course, the players are glad he is here.
Well, we talked to people in Tampa when that trade was made, and the word was you got a good pitcher and you got even a better person. This is a great guy. He'll fit into the clubhouse.
Oh, and he has, you know, and watch him take a little bit off this knuckle curve. You see the knuckle up on it. Well, it gets J.D. Martinez way out in front. Not a pitch you're going to see from Cobb a bunch, but he will flip those in there from time to time.
0-2. He bounces one to Severino. Orioles got 3 in the first, 2 in the second. They lead it 5-0 here. The Red Sox batting in the bottom of the third. That's outside. 2-2. Martinez, you can see him. Deep thought. He's a thinker.
It's a routine every time.
See that sigh? Yeah.
It's an approach every time.
That's why he's one of the best in the game. Cobb knows it. He's had big numbers against him. Great pitch. Hit the black on the outside corner for the strikeout.
Well, you can concentrate. You can think all you want to in the batter's box. When a pitcher makes a pitch like this, look where Severino is. And I mean, dotting the I on the outside part of the plate. That'll hurt your feelings right there if you're standing in the batter's box. Just perfectly done.
And 94 tells you something about his arm too, right? Yeah, he's got some pop.
Yeah, you know, in his last exhibition start, you know, we heard Cobb say, look, I'm pleased with my velocity. I didn't expect it to be as good as it is already. So he was pleased with velocity. The split finger fastball was really good for him. There's that breaking ball again.
And a nice way to start. Strike one.
There it is. All 3 of his strikeouts were looking with fastballs. That was the first one to the outside part of the plate. The first 2 strikeouts with that fastball right on the inside part of the plate. So he's moving around.
Benintendi and Devers looking in the first inning. And J.G. Martinez just went down.
You know, and that was one of our keys to the game, right? Stay out of the middle of the plate. And he's done that for the most part today, right?
Yeah, one of your other keys was flush it, right?
Yeah.
Flush that whipping you got last night, 13-2, and you get 5 in the first 2 innings. That helps with that flush.
And that's harder said than done for a young position player team like the Orioles have. But boy, they came out right away and put 3 on the scoreboard and haven't looked back to this point.
Devers to Davis. Davis takes care of that, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Alex Cobb. Orioles lead the Red Sox 5-0. We're back at Fenway right after this. 20 RAV4, ready for any adventure. Go Toyota and let's go places. Orioles lead the Red Sox 5-0. Second game of the 2020 season. There will be 60 in the regular season, and then 16 teams will get to jump into the postseason. Orioles got hammered last night, 13-2, but they jumped on the Red Sox early today. Scored 3 runs in the first inning, 2 more in the second. And Alex Cobb has looked very good on the mound. First pitch didn't take long there. Valleca hit it hard, but 1 down. While the Oriole bird is practicing social distancing and wearing a mask, he's also doing virtual bird visits to help celebrate special occasions with fellow Oriole fans. Schedule a bird for your next virtual event. Appearance is just $50. Proceeds benefit the Orioles Charitable Foundation. Learn more and book now at Orioles.com/bird. Back to the top of the order. Mullins with the first out. Austin Hayes at the plate. Hayes 1 for 2, singled to start the game, scored the first run. Popped out to second in the second inning.
Yeah, Austin Hayes kind of old school. No batting gloves. Rubs a little dirt on his hand right around the home plate. Grabs the bat and ready to hit.
Well, I think we'd all like to see him play 55 to 60 games in center field, stay healthy, and see where that takes him, right? Because his future is a bright one.
Yeah. Well, if he can even begin to duplicate the September that he had last year, where he hit .309, 4 homers, 12 RBIs. You know, he was a real difference maker on defense in the outfield, too.
1-2 pitch. Get out to left field. Benintendi's there. 2 down. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by PNC, helping to make banking easier. Well, after a rocky first 2 innings, Perez kind of finding his groove a little more here in the last couple innings.
Martin Perez, not very different from a lot of starting pitchers in the big leagues, right? I mean, sometimes the rhythm in that first inning to me is always the most difficult inning for a starting pitcher because everything is different. The game mound is different than the bullpen mound. What you thought you had in the bullpen when you left it doesn't necessarily translate to the game mound because you get a whole different adrenaline flow when a batter steps in the box. And so you may leave thinking, well, I got a great curveball today, and all of a sudden you just can't find it when it matters the most. And he surely struggled with some command early, and the Orioles took advantage of it.
Well, he'll probably be a little careful. Nobody on, but Hanser Alberto wears out left-hand pitchers. He's 2 for 2 today. Doubled in the first inning, scored a run, had an RBI base hit in the second inning. Pretty good cut there as he pulls it foul. I like the numbers on the mask.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Well, custom-made mask.
No,
you don't get them confused
who they are
with anybody else's.
Top half the fourth inning, 5-0 Orioles. 2 balls and a strike to Alberto, and he rips one down, just foul.
Boy, I mean, just foul too. That was going to be another double. Alberto already 2 for 2 today. 2 balls and 1 strike, and he's hunting the ball middle of the plate. Watch him quickly gets the hand in, and he melts this one on the ground, and I mean, it just was foul.
What makes him that line drive hitter that he is, Ben?
Well, you know, he's got a more flat swing. I mean, the idea in baseball is try to get the ball in the air really the last 4 or 5 years. You know, what we heard so much about bat path and launch angle, but he understands what he does well.
He hits that ball hard, and a great diving catch by Jackie Bradley.
Jackie Bradley Jr. How about that?
Well, Alberto that close to being 3 for 3, but Bradley says that's why I have a gold glove.
Yeah.
Orioles on top, 5-0. Orioles up 5-0. Jackie Bradley with a great catch to rob Hanser Alberto of his potentially 3rd hit of this game. Now it's Alex Cobb back on the hill as the Orioles lead the Red Sox 5-0. Boston batting in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Mitch Moreland, Jose Peraza, and Alex Verdugo. First 3 for the Red Sox. There's that strike 1 to start things again.
What you call a little get me over breaking balls. Not your best one, but you know a hitter's not looking for a first pitch breaking ball because Quite frankly, Cobb doesn't throw a ton of them, so he just kind of dumps one in there.
Get ahead in that count.
Get ahead in the count. Now go to work. There's Pedro back on that inside part of the plate. There it is again. Boy, I tell you, that's a perfect pitch. And clearly, Marty Foster, the home plate umpire, missed that one. Or did he call it a strike?
Yeah, it's a strike. Yeah.
Okay.
0-2.
Fix to say, he didn't call that one a strike. We missed that one.
Can't argue with the umpires this year, Ben. We got to. You got
to argue from a distance.
Hey, that was a bad call.
I have a feeling that when things get really heated later on in the season, that all that's going to go out of the window.
Yeah.
I think managers are going to.
Okay, what's your? Will there be a mound charging brawl at any point in this season?
Absolutely.
There'll be one, right?
There's going to be one.
And then there could be fines and suspensions.
We're already starting to see some high fives. I saw some high fives on TV last night.
Guys forget. Gets away from Severino, and looks like Moreland will reach on a strikeout.
This is that split finger fastball. There's the grip right there. And watch the bottom just fall out of this. Pedro Severino's eyes are up a little bit instead of getting down and blocking that thing. And we saw a play last night, too, where ball got behind him. And that's one thing Pedro, the bat has done well for him. But defensively, this is where he needs to improve. Yep. One of the league leaders had the most pass balls.
He had 10 pass balls last year.
Yes.
Ben, that was second most in the league. So,
right.
Yeah, that is an area where he needs to get better.
And that's huge. I mean, first batter of the inning, you get a strikeout. That ball should be blocked, put in front, and should be one out. But instead, you get nobody out, runner at first base.
And Peraza, the line drive to left. That results in an out. So Santander with the out, one down. A continuous and engaging learning experience, Summer Slugger uses the fun and excitement of baseball to prepare students to enter the next school year on track. Join the team. Register now with the code Orioles. Play weekly series, earn rewards, and conquer challenges. Visit Orioles.com/Summer Slugger. Alex Verdugo popped out to short his first at bat. So with Benintendi and Bradley probably playing most days, Verdugo and Pilar, I mean, that's a nice mix and match, right, where you don't lose any defense. You've got four guys that can play, and occasionally they may throw out J.D. Martinez, but he'll primarily DH. It's a good piece of hitting. Verdugo goes with it and slaps it into left field.
Yeah, all four of those guys that you mentioned can really go get it in the outfield. You know, so you got speed in the outfield. Looks like Verdugo wants the ball. First base hit as a Red Sox. Feeling that young man is going to rack up a lot of base hits.
You can't do that thing anymore where you throw it in and then the guy fakes like he threw it into the crowd, right?
Right.
He switches the ball and throws it into the crowd. That one always plays well.
Or Sutcliffe used to take a practice ball, and he'd write the guy's name on it that got the base hit because he wanted to keep the ball. And of course, he would misspell the name with ink on purpose and give it to him. It's like, come on, Sut, you misspelled my name. Of course, he had the real game ball in his pocket.
Yeah.
He's like, you ruined it.
Well, Red Sox with two on now, one down. Inning started with the strikeout from Moreland, but he reached on the wild pitch. And it was scored a wild pitch, not a pass ball. But as you said, that's a ball that Severino would say, I got to block that.
Well, as a catcher, you know split finger fastball or breaking ball is coming in a two-strike count. The idea is to throw the ball and let it begin in the strike zone, but you want it really bouncing or being very low when it gets to the home plate. So you got to be prepared to block it and keep it in front. And he never really got to a knee.
Bradley bouncer to third. They'll get one, and that's all. So the force out at second, two down.
Ball was not hit that hard. Valleca came in and quickly got it over to Hanser Alberto. But Jackie Bradley Jr. can really get down the line.
Oh, yeah. You're a tough guy to double. Now they've changed the scoring call. They've changed that strikeout into a pass ball. Doesn't surprise me. I mean, if they called it either way, it's a 50-50 call, I think. 2 on, 2 down. This is the catcher, Kevin Plawecki. Was with the Indians last year, spent 4 years with the Mets. Hit by a pitch, his first at bat. Not trying to work out of a minor mess here. They had 2 on, 1 down. Got the ground ball to Bradley. See if he can finish off Plawecki. Ball and no strikes. Good pitch there.
Yeah, it's only the second time today that the Red Sox have had a runner in scoring position. The last time was back in the second inning, but watch the spot of this one again. Right on the outside part of the plate, knee high.
He's done a lot of that today. Quick throw over to first base. Checking in on Bradley. Cobb ready, 1-1. Held the ball a little longer that time just to throw Bradley's timing off, and throws it by Plawecki.
That's a veteran move, holding, not letting the base runner consistently time you up, and another ball just placed perfectly on the outside part of the plate. 2 in a row. Bring the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Now you got a lot of options. Does he come inside with a fastball? Does he throw the split finger breaking ball down? Does he trust Severino to keep it in front if he does bounce it?
Splitty. I think he's going splitty. Let's see. Yeah.
You can almost watch the catcher, and a lot of times, you know, if a catcher's legs get really wide, he's expecting something off speed in the dirt because he gets in a blocking position. Normally they won't show you that until the ball begins to come to home plate because they don't want to tip anything off. So a lot of times a catcher will let you know if you'll watch his knees and his legs. See, I mean, that position right there, you got to be expecting fastball because he can't block from that position.
And Cobb's going to get out of it. Ground ball to second, and the Red Sox are retired. Orioles still lead the Sox 5-0 as we head to the 5th inning. Cobb says, hey, let's play ball.
That's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
Pedro knows. I mean, that's a ball he's got to keep in front. And that's something they work on all the time. And that's what he's telling him. Hey, man, my bad. Great pitch. But I like that. You know, I like for a catcher or for a player to you know, admit, you know, and say, look, I'm going to do better. That's my bad.
Orioles 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors. The Red Sox, no runs, 3 hits and an error. As you look at Alex Cobb, who's been terrific through 4. Orioles 5th. Iglesias leads it off. Then it's Santander and Nunez.
And all of a sudden, Martin Perez is, after the first couple innings, he's kind of settled in a little bit. Giving up 5 runs, 4 of which are earned. There was a big error that hurt him along the way. Could have ended the inning. Devers made an error over at third base.
See how the inning goes, but this could be his last frame, right? He's at 74 pitches now.
Yep.
That thing get up into the 80s, and Ron Renicky may want to go to his pen.
We're not seeing any action yet in that Red Sox bullpen.
2-1 pitch. Iglesias takes it in, 3-1. Iglesias struck out in the first inning. Base hit in the second. Anthony Santander, the switch hitter, hitting from the right side. Bounce down to third. Devers has it. 1 down. Santander hit a fly ball to right field in the first inning, then hit a pop-up that looked like the second out of the inning when the Orioles had a little rally going in the second, but suddenly it turned into a double play as I believe it was Hanser Alberto forgot how many outs there were, and he got doubled up at second. So a couple of things not too smooth on the base paths. That's a mental error there.
Yeah.
And then Austin Hayes, too, got kind of hung up on third base on a play maybe he could have tagged and scored.
Those will be 2 things talked about after the ball game, I promise you, by Brandon Hyde.
Now
he has made a big emphasis the last couple of spring trainings on base running and said we got to be good on our base running. We can't make mistakes. We got to take an extra 90 feet.
Oh, that got in the kitchen.
Golly, I don't know if I've ever seen a ball that far inside before. I don't know how it didn't break that bat. He's checking his bat out. Watch this ball run inside. Oh. You can see Santana does everything he can do. Pulls the hands in close to the body. Watch this. Really close, and that ball.
I would check to make sure I still had 10 fingers after that one. I mean, he was in the kitchen and then he was inside the stove, right?
That's just not picking up. That cut fastball just boring inside on the right-handed hitters from Perez. And he did a really good job with that one.
One-two pitch. Grounded to short. And they're 2 down. Hey, join us tomorrow as the Orioles wrap up this opening series with the Red Sox. Wade LeBlanc takes the mound against Ryan Weber. Coverage on MASN 2 begins at 1 o'clock with those extra presented by PNC Bank, followed by game coverage at 1:30. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN. Hopefully the Orioles in the rubber game with 3-game series tomorrow. They can get one here. Birds on top 5-0 in the 5th inning. Alex Cobb has been terrific. Orioles scored early with 3 in the first, 2 more in the second. And now Perez has settled down for the Red Sox. Has pitched well these last couple innings.
Yeah, matchup tomorrow. Ryan Weber will go for Boston. Wade LeBlanc for the Orioles. I like the pitching matchup in that one. I think LeBlanc has the advantage in that one.
Yeah, we saw him down in Sarasota. Pitched a strong game.
Yeah, LeBlanc, not a power arm. A lot like Malone in a lot of ways, you know, left-handed, but he'll really use both sides of the plate. Has all the pitches, 2 different breaking balls, really good changeup, fastball.
Nunez at the plate with I think the biggest play in this game so far, right? The Orioles had 2 runners on, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and it looked like the Red Sox might get out of the inning, but he came up with 2 outs and smashed one off the monster to drive in 2 and get the whole party started.
So important to strike early in any ball game, but after last night when you only racked up 6 hits and you only had 2 runs and you were blown out of the ballpark, great to strike first, and the Orioles were able to do that behind Renato Nunez. Had a double in last night's game.
Oh. Nunez decides to check the bat there. I guess it's all right. Perez 1-2 pitch. Throws it by him for strike 3. So Martin Perez, 84 pitches in, hitting his stride. Red Sox coming to bat with the Orioles up 5-0. Airlines, big heart and low fares. Book now at southwest.com and by Royal Farms. Real fresh, real fast. Well, Alex Cobb has been on his game at Fenway Park this afternoon. Cobb threw 4. He's given up no runs on 3 hits, struck out 4 without a walk. He'll go to work here in the Red Sox bottom half of the 5th inning. Zue Lin, Benintendi, and J.D. Martinez, the first 3 for Boston. Showing bunt and taking a strike is Zue Lin.
Well, for me, that's been the difference maker in this ball game for Alex Cobb, the ability to use the inside part of the plate. He's done it all day long, and he's thrown strike 1.
I was going to say a lot of strike 1s. Yeah.
You go back and look, he has been ahead. Much easier said than done, but when you throw strike 1 and you put a hitter on defense right away, it matters.
Lynn with a fly ball to left field. Shouldn't be any problem for Santander. 1 down.
And all you got to do is go back to last night's ball game when the Orioles gave up 17 hits, 13 runs. Seemed like no matter who was on the bump for the Orioles, it was ball 1, ball 2, and left some balls in the middle of the plate. And again, big league teams, big league players just don't miss those kinds of pitches, especially when they're in plus counts.
So tell me about the first time you showed up at Fenway Park and looked and saw that wall looking pretty close to the batter's box.
I really thought I was going to drag my knuckle on that wall when I pitched from the pitcher's mound. That's how close it actually looked. I was like, are you kidding me? This is like a wiffle ball park, you know. But surprisingly or not, it doesn't yield like nearly as many home runs as you think it would yield, you know, right? Camden Yards is one of the top home run yielding ballparks in all of Major League Baseball, but Boston's kind of middle of the road because it's really big out in center field, and if you can keep it off the right field foul pole, it gets big out towards right center field too. And of course, those line drive home runs to left field never make it over the fence, you know, but the pop-ups will.
That's Heath Hembree getting loose in the Red Sox bullpen. Pitch count getting up into the 80s for Perez, so we may see Hembree when the Orioles come to bat in the 6th. And Benintendi with a little number, foul at the plate. Ball and 2 strikes.
If that's it for Perez, I mean, I think, you know, obviously you never want to give up 4 or 5 runs. He'll have 4 earned runs if he doesn't go back out. But still, the way he finished the ball game, gives up 5 runs in the first 2, but then
3 scoreless innings without it giving up a hit the next 3, right? Benintendi 0 for 2 in the game. Ring him up. Ring him up. 0 for 3.
Well, the Orioles have pitched Benintendi well so far and got ahead. And there's that split finger fastball grip. And watch the action at the end. The bottom just falls out of it. Benintendi swings right over the top of it. But that's the key to getting ahead, right? You get ahead with your fastball, then you can go to the secondary stuff. And look at the numbers. 63 total pitches only. 39 strikes.
It's probably a good thing when the hitter winds up with a knee, right? Taking a knee on that hack. Trying to get down there and get that splitter. J.D. Martinez 1 for 2, base hit in the 2nd, struck out looking in the 3rd. Well, Brandon Hyde, Doug Brocail got to be real happy what they're seeing with Alex Cobb today.
Sharp. You know what I mean? When you basically sit out an entire year, you just don't know. You know, and I think it's going to take some time. And really, in a lot of ways, a 60-game season may be a blessing for Cobb in a lot of ways, just because when you sit out for a full year, you don't know how your body's going to respond to, say, 30 or 32 starts if you stay in there for the whole time. But the fact that the most starts you're going to get is probably about 12 in a 60-game schedule, it sets up perfectly for Alex Cobb.
Well, he's behind Martinez. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 down, nobody on. That catches the corner for a strike.
And even over a 3-0 count, you expect the ball down the middle and don't think J.D. Martinez isn't ready to swing. This ball is right on the outside part of the plate, just perfectly placed again by Cobb. He knows how well J.D. Martinez has hit him over the years, and he was not going to lay a cookie in there.
And another quality pitch, strike 2.
Not giving in. Martinez is upset. He's like, come on, man. It's 3-1 count. You're up 5-0. You throw me a 3-1 split finger fastball. Watch the bottom fall out of that one.
Wow.
And Alex Cobb goes, no, sir.
But what are you thinking if you're out there, Ben? Obviously, you don't want to give in to anybody, but you're up 5.
It's 2 out, and so I'm okay with Cobb pitching the way he's pitching right now, not giving in that situation. And boy, it worked out for him. Hanser Alberto with a pretty good play across the diamond.
Yep, he got him. So a 1-2-3 inning. Red Sox retired in the 5th. Orioles on top, 5-0.
Hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were earned. Walked 2, struck out 2, 84 pitches, 52 strikes. And this pitching change is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube Multi-Care stores do brake services. Stop in and let Jiffy Lube Multi-Care inspect your brakes today.
Heath Hembree is the new pitcher for the Red Sox. You see his numbers from last year. Appeared in 45 games. Pretty tidy 3.86 ERA and 46 strikeouts in 39 innings. That tells you he can throw it by some people.
Yeah, and a good strikeout to walk ratio. Almost 3-1. Opponent's only hitting .224 off the big right-hander. Like his splits, too. Gets right-handed batters out. And left-handed batters just about equally the same. More of a fly ball pitcher. 3 fly balls per 1 ground ball.
Well, he'd been a workhorse for him. Over 60 appearances in both 17 and 18. And then last year down to 45. But he had 2 different stays on the injured list. So that cut down on the appearances. But Heath Hembree on in relief. The Orioles on top 5-0. His job is to try to keep it at 5 as Pedro Severino steps in. It'll be Severino, Davis, and Valleca. Embry 93 on the fastball for strike 1. Severino 0 for 2, but he did hit the roller down to third that Devers couldn't handle to score a run. Oriole bullpen is quiet, so we would assume Alex Cobb's coming back out for the 6th inning. He's been very impressive in 5 scoreless. Good slider there.
Yeah, just a couple of cases, right? The Red Sox got runners in scoring position, so it's not been, you know, everybody gets caught up in pitch count, but there's a difference in throwing 100 pitches when you're constantly in trouble and you're humping for every pitch and every pitch matters versus when you get a pretty good lead and you're never really getting a whole lot of trouble. That's a different 100 kind of pitches. So I think all that comes into play. Obviously, it's early in the year. It's not cold. We're in July, although it is opening weekend.
Yeah, this would be the game today, games 2, 3, that opening weekend, that you're seeing players all over the East Coast and Midwest with masks on.
Yep.
But not because of COVID, because it's 28 degrees in Chicago and the wind's blowing 20 miles an hour, right? Especially the Latin players, you see them shivering and pulling up the turtlenecks over their faces.
Well, I read this is the first time the Orioles have opened up at Fenway Park to begin the season since 1966. As you know, it's kind of chilly at Fenway in late March, early April.
Well, Embry goes full now to Severino. We talked about that Oriole pitching and the 2 things coming into the season, and they were question marks, but the 2 things you thought they had with John Means coming off a terrific rookie season, and now he's battling a fatigued arm. Looks like he'll be back on Thursday. But he was one thing you thought you had, and then you thought maybe Alex Cobb healthy with his experience and track record. That gives you 2, and then from there were a whole bunch of question marks how the pieces would fit.
But you like the veteran guys. You know, I still think Tommy Milone's going to do better than what he showed you last night. You know, I really believe, I know the ERA is inflated right now. It's got to be after getting up 13 runs, and it may not ever recover from that because it's a shortened season.
It's Benintendi on the track. He's got room and makes the grab.
But I think this Oriole pitching staff will be better this year than what it was last year. I think Wade LeBlanc has a chance to be a really solid performer for the Orioles as well. He was a minor league.
Ben, let's hope they're better because they gave up 305 homers last year. That broke the all-time. The old record was 258.
Well, the balls flew everywhere. I mean, look. I mean, the Yankees hit 306 home runs. That set a record, but Minnesota topped them with 307, you know. So, I mean, it was home runs and strikeouts were at an all-time high last year.
It would be interesting to talk to an Alex Cobb or somebody, because I think I talked with you and Bordy about this in spring, about how does the baseball feel this year versus last. And some thought it felt a little different this year, that maybe it was a little back closer to what it normal than that.
Well, you could tell last year because when you put, you know, when I picked the balls up last year, to me they almost felt like you were picking up a golf ball. I mean, they were really that hard. Obviously not that small, but they did feel a tad bit smaller and much harder, and the results were there. I mean, home runs, and all you got to do is go back and look at the AAA numbers from last year, right? They put the big league ball in AAA play last year, and it wasn't like 100 more. It was thousands more home runs hit in AAA than what it was last year. So that's enough to tell you there was something going on with the balls.
Chris Davis ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Fly ball to center field. Bradley's right there. 2 down. Step inside the yard, a new Orioles original podcast hosted by broadcasters Brett Hollander and Jeff Arnold. Fans can stay up to date on all things Orioles baseball with new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Subscribe wherever you find podcasts or learn more at Orioles.com/podcasts. Left-hander Paul Fry getting loose in the Oriole bullpen. 2 down, nobody on. This is Pat Valleca. Valleca 1 for 2. Singled and scored a run in the second inning. Another piece of the puzzle. Pat Valaika can play multiple positions. He's got a little power. Good slider, right?
Yeah,
thing biting
really
outside.
Good slider. Got some horizontal break to it. Watch it go from right to left. A little depth to it as well. Kind of been the new trend in baseball the last couple of years. More breaking balls. First time ever we had more breaking balls and all-speed pitches thrown than fastballs last year in Major League Baseball. I think that ties into the analytics of stuff too, and what pitchers, and it's just a different world in Major League Baseball now. I mean, there's so much technology out there. I think some of it good, some of it confusing.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is for pitchers with the Rapsodo machines, that's a slow motion machines. It gives you an opportunity to see the ball come out of your hand. They can slow the speed down, and you can tinker with grips a little bit to try to get the best spins that you can get on a baseball.
So 3 fly balls in the inning. Bradley under this one. And Hembree gets the Birds 1-2-3. Red Sox coming to bat bottom half the 6th inning with the Orioles on top 5-0. He's been terrific. 5 innings, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks. Pitch count at 69, Ben.
Yeah, 42, high percentage of strikes. Yeah, he's been as good as you could ever expect. That's how good he's been. Don't forget, this is one of the best lineups in all of baseball, and he has flat out shut the Red Sox down at this point. Not many balls barreled up at all. He's not falling behind. No walks. Fastball command has been outstanding. All speed stuff has been good.
Paul Fry continues to throw in the Oriole bullpen, should he be needed. This is Rafael Devers, still looking for his first hit of the 2020 season. He was 0 for 4 last night, struck out looking in the first today, and bounced out to first. Trust me, he will get them. You just hope they're next week. Alex Cobb not happy with himself with that pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Devers, Moreland, and Peraza for the Red Sox in the 6th inning. After a 13-run night last night in the opener, Red Sox have been able to get on the board. Well, I'm sure with an Alex Cobb who's 32 years old, been around for a long time, Brandon Hyde's going to probably listen to him more than he would a young pitcher about how do you feel? Do you think you got another inning in you?
Absolutely.
Kind of pick his brain a little bit. 2-1 to Devers. Quality pitch there. Swings over it.
The ability to pitch behind in the count. What does that mean? Throw something other than a fastball in a fastball count. We saw Alex Cobb do it with J.D. Martinez on a 3-1 count last inning, and here it is a 2-1 count. And boy, if you're Devers, you think you're going to get a fastball 2-1. You're up 5-0. He said, okay, he's going to give me a fastball, but instead Cobb takes a little bit off, throws a split finger fastball again to even the count.
That's in the dirt. Count goes full.
I don't care what level you play at. Anytime you can begin to throw something other than a fastball in a fastball count, that's when things begin to change for a pitcher.
Got him with a 3-2.
3-2 splitter. How about that? Boy, this is what you call own your game as a starting pitcher right here. 3-2 count. There's the grip. See the split finger grip? And just perfectly placed on the outside corner. You see the bottom fall out of it. Devers right over the top of it. That right there will hurt your feelings.
6th strikeout for Alex Cobb, and that'll bring Mitch Moreland to the plate. It's probably why Fry was up. If maybe Devers reached, it might bring in the lefty to Moreland, but no such problem.
Might be one of those deals where, okay, you can go back out, but the first time somebody gets on, I'm coming to get you.
Brandon Hyde did say before the game that early part of the season he wouldn't use anybody back-to-back days out of the bullpen. And the Orioles last night, Cody Carroll, Travis Lakins, David Hess, all were used. Orioles up 5-0, one down. Red Sox sixth, 1-1. The count to Moreland, who drives it deep to right, and it's gone. Hit into the first or second row of the seats out there, and the Red Sox are on the board.
Well, Cobb had gotten Moreland to ground out to second base. He punched him out in the fourth inning. Boy, not this time. Take a look at the location of this pitch. This is a two-seam fastball. Instead of it being in, it's kind of more middle of the plate. One of the few mistakes that Alex Cobb has made all day long. The big left-hander drops a barrel on it and puts the first run on the scoreboard for the Boston Red Sox today.
And that's going to end Alex Cobb's day. Brandon Hyde out. It's been a terrific day for Alex Cobb. Ends with the home run, but the Orioles on top 5-1.
Ball into these Red Sox hitters early was the key for him. He dotted some eyes on the inside corner. When he wanted to go away, he was able to do that as he punches out J.D. Martinez. Then he started going to the all-speed stuff. He gets Benintendi with a split-finger fastball, gets another strikeout on another split-finger fastball as well. So it was fastballs early, all-speed stuff late, and take a look at those lines right there. 5 1/3, only 4 hits, the 1 home run, 1 earned run, didn't walk a batter, 6 punch-outs, and 78 pitches. 47 strikes for Alex Cobb.
And I would say, but not for the last pitch, about perfect. So I guess we can call it near perfect, right?
Yeah, but
real,
I mean,
real good
that's
outing.
all you could hope for in a day that he had. Remember, he set out most of the year last year, and he was outstanding. And you always hope a guy can jump on the bump after you get beat really hard the night before and shut him down. That's exactly what he did early and gave that offense a chance to go to work.
Paul Fry, the lefty, throwing to Peraza here.
Yeah, Paul Fry was busy last year. You see him in 66 games, ERA 5.3, did have 3 saves and 8 opportunities, 55 punch-outs, 29 walks. Opponents hit .247 off the left-hander.
Now we have the new rule this year where relievers have to face at least 3 hitters or end the inning, right?
That's right.
Austin Hayes has this one lined up. 2 down.
Well, here's your StatCast powered by Google Cloud. This was a base hit by Verdugo out to left field off the bat at 102, almost 103 miles an hour. Yes, he wants the baseball. It was his first base hit as a Red Sox.
Alex Cobb, good day's work. Got to feel good about this. About Verdugo's number, you talking about football numbers.
Yeah.
Wearing 99, right? What was your tie into your number? Was it?
Well, probably like Verdugo and others, you know. I mean, sometimes when you show up in minor league camp or when you first, they just throw a number at you. You know, you don't get a choice when you're a rookie, right? And I remember in high school, I wanted to be a certain number, and the coach just threw number 19 at me. Because what size are you? I said, I'm extra large. He just worked in the box and threw me a jersey that was like 15 years old. He said, here, this is yours, you know, and it just happened to be number 19. So it stuck
right?
with me forever.
Yeah. They didn't have a lot of your sizes, right? So well, this one will fit this kid.
Your freshman year, it's kind of like your rookie year, right? They don't care. You're lucky to get a uniform, and you're happy to have one, no matter what number it is.
I don't think we got face masks until my sophomore year. 2-2 pitch, 2 down. Fry to Verdugo. Bounces it foul. Birds lead at 5-1. Red Sox got on the board this inning with a Mitch Moreland solo homer. That's down in the dirt. Count full. 2 down, nobody on. Orioles got all their runs early. 3 in the first inning, 2 in the second. Alex Cobb, a superb 5 1/3 inning performance. 6 strikeouts, no walks. Lefty against lefty here, and he wins the battle. Verdugo with a base hit into right field, his second hit of the game.
You can see why the Red Sox like the young Verdugo so much. Again, he was a big part of that trade. Sent David Price over to the Dodgers. Watch him stay inside. Lefty on lefty matchup. It's a breaking ball to him. Boy, he stays right there on it. Doesn't open up the hips. Doesn't open up the front shoulder. And he melts this ball right in between first and second. That's a swing and an approach right there. It's going to rack up a lot of hits at the big league level.
So this will be the third batter that Paul Fry faces, Jackie Bradley. And he lines one to the left side. Santander up with it. Verdugo hustles to third. Here's the throw. Gets away, but backed up by Paul Fry. Good job by Fry to back up there, saved a run.
I'll tell you what, a little bit of a risk for Verdugo, too. Luckily, that ball hopped because that could have been the third out at third base. And when you're down 5-1, you don't like to take these kind of chances. But the youngster, he's aggressive around second base and grabs another gear and quickly into third base. If that ball's picked over there by Valleca, that might end the inning. But instead, the Red Sox now. Verdugo over at third base. Jackie Bradley Jr. with another base hit. He's at second base. Takes an extra 90 feet on the throw.
Yeah, Alex Cobb says, get him out of this mess here.
Yeah, that'll be a nervous wait on the bench right there. Yeah. Anytime you come out of the ball game with a lead, boy, you're
suddenly
hanging on every out, every pitch, trying to pick up a W.
And the tying run is on deck. What was a moment ago a 5-0 game. Plawecki hit by a pitch, bounced out to second.
Good
pitch. A quality pitch, yeah, right out.
Fry's got a good arm for lefty. You know, you'll see him anywhere 91 up to 94. Breaking ball and a changeup. Didn't have quite the year last year that he had the year before. ERA was a little bit elevated.
Bounced up the middle. Catcher running, but Plawecki beats it out.
Well, what you're going to see is that Hanser Alberto makes an outstanding play to the backhand side, but the ball on the transfer from glove. Check it out right here. Watch the transfer.
Double
right
clutches,
there.
yeah.
Right there. The ball didn't quite come out of the glove, and he puts everything he's got on it, but not in time, and that is huge for the Red Sox. Plawecki beats it out for an infield single and an RBI, and the Red Sox push across another run, and all of a sudden you turn around and the tying run is standing in the batter's box.
Well, you're thinking with the catcher running, you may have a shot, but it was a close play, but he was there.
Well, I think if he makes the transfer, right, he's out. He's out by a half step, but instead just that little bit of a bobble is the difference maker. Now Cobb just can't stand it, right? He goes from sitting down a little bit relaxed and kick back to going, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening.
And with the tying run coming to the plate, Ron Renicke's going to the bench and bringing out one of his studs, Xander Bogaerts, who we thought maybe had the day off. Not now. He'll pinch hit for Zue Lin.
Well, the Orioles should. Miguel Castro is warming up in the bullpen. Fry has faced his 3 batters, right?
Yes, he has.
So you could make a change if you wanted to.
Yeah, he's faced 4. Yeah, Castro looks like he'll come in. They go to the right-hander against Bogaerts. We're back. Orioles lead the Red Sox 5-2.
Y'all, it is some high octane stuff, though. You're going to see a fastball that will approach triple digits. It's definitely upper 90s, 1-3 with a 4.6 ERA. He did pick up 2 saves last year. See a strikeout per inning, 73, 71 strikeouts. Opponents hit 232 off of him. About 50 for 50 on ground ball flyout percentage. Split finger fastball, breaking ball. And the fastball, and he's in a tough situation. He's going to face Bogaerts. The only thing he did last year was hit 309 with 33 homers and 117 RBIs. Nice to go to your bench here in the 6th inning and be able to pick up a guy like that.
A couple of scoring announcements. So on the Bradley single, he advanced to second. They charge an error, I guess, on the throw. Got away at third to Santander, and then Plawecki's ground ball that went to Alberto was scored a base hit. So here's Xander Bogaerts. He and Alex Rodriguez, the only shortstops ever with 30-plus homers, 50 doubles in a season. That's what he did last year. And he's pinch hitting here.
There it is, 99, right on the inside part of the plate. If you've been sitting on the bench for a few innings, that'll wake you up. Wiki at first, Bradley Jr. over at third, and that is the tying run at home plate for the Red Sox.
Cobb started this inning, struck out Devers, then gave up the solo homer to Moreland, and his day was done. Fry came in, announced Castro trying to get the third out. Ahead 0-2.
And Alex Cobb's in the dugout, and he hadn't taken a breath in about 3 minutes.
Pretty good player to have on your bench, right? Xander Bogaerts. Certainly one of the top 10 hitters in baseball. Oh, breaking ball.
How about that?
Punches him out. How big was that? Wow.
So you get what? You get fastball, 99, 98, and you finish him off with a breaking ball.
All right, our Hyundai do-ups. Red Sox got 2 in the inning and had the tying run at the plate in Xander Bogaerts when Miguel Castro came in and said, not so fast.
Oh, that was impressive, huh? Strike 1, strike 2, 99, 98, and a wipeout slider against one of the better hitters in baseball. And Orioles take that 5-2 lead into the 2nd inning, and Heath Embry pitched 1 inning. It was 1 perfect inning, and in for him, Dylan Covey. What he did last season with the White Sox. Few relief appearances, 12 starts to go along with it. 1-8 ERA, 7.9, 58 innings pitched, 75 hits. Some room for improvement for him.
And Xander Bogaerts stays in the game. He pinch hit for Zue Lin. He'll stay at shortstop. Covey just picked up in the last week and added to the roster for the Red Sox, and they'll get a look right away. Orioles been stuck on 5 for a while. They could use a run or two, a little more breathing room for that bullpen, right?
Well, we talked about that early, putting constant pressure on defenses when you can, and this was one of the problems the Orioles had last year. We would see some runs and some outbreaker runs in an inning or two, but then not much pressure. That's kind of what it's been. 5 runs in the first 2 innings, nothing to show for it since.
Switch hitter Cedric Mullins from the left side against Covey.
And if you look on the scorecard, I mean, 3rd inning, 4 batters up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down in the 4th, 5th, and the 6th for the Orioles, so not even threatening.
Talked about Mullins working in the offseason, and who knows if he's here, if it's a 26-man roster, but with a 30 to have his defense and speed, and if he can hit a little, that's a valuable guy.
That's right.
Baseball is back. The MLB app is the only place to get all your baseball action, in-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboard standings, and much more. Download the MLB app today, the #1 app for live baseball. One thing we want to kind of just point out, too, our official scores, occasionally we're waiting on a scoring rule. Well, the scorers are watching at home on TV. They're not in the ballparks now, so some of the scoring decisions may take a little longer than normal, but that's the way baseball is in 2020. Austin Hayes has a base hit and a run scored today. He's got 2 base hits. Wraps that into left field.
Well, Austin Hayes with some of the quickest hands you'll see. Pretty good fastball in the inner third of the plate and no problem for him.
So tell me, you've got speed at first base. You've got a guy that makes a lot of contact. Richard Blyer getting ready in the Oriole bullpen. You think we might see something here, hit and runs?
Very well could.
Steal.
I mean, most managers are obviously more aggressive when you're up in the game as opposed to being down. And so it's quite possible. Hanser Alberto 2 for 3 today. I don't know if I'd mess with him. Just let him just keep on doing what he does. Because a good chance if he gets a single and it goes to the outfield, there's no doubt, with the speed that Austin Hayes has, he can go first to third pretty easy.
Yeah, and Alberto was a great Jackie Bradley dive away from being 3 for 3.
But Alberto would be a really good hit and run or run and hit kind of guy, just because he doesn't swing and miss that often, doesn't strike out much, shoots the ball the other way as good as anybody.
Covey ahead, a strike. Breaking ball, bounce down to third, could be 2. The second for 1, and safe at first. Alberto beat the throw.
Alberto hustling down the line, avoids a double play. It almost looked like the second baseman, Peraza, had a little bit of a fumble too. Let's see. Yep, just a little bit of a hesitation again on the transfer, kind of like Alberto did last inning, and that was just enough where you see Alberto hustling out of the box and beats it out.
Here's Jose Iglesias. He's hit in the 3-hole the first 2 games of the season.
We've seen a couple infielders now have a little trouble, and again, in abbreviated spring training, summer camp, whatever you want to call it, you just don't get the reps that you normally would get in a full 6 weeks or 7 weeks. Some players get there a little bit early where you're taking 100 ground balls a day. You're working on ground ball turns every day. Just don't have quite the reps. So you're going to see some rust on, maybe not so much errors, because neither one of those will be called arrows, but just plays that are normally going to be double plays.
Not as smooth as they would be. Yeah. Fights off an inside pitch, and it falls in for a base hit to short right field. Bang, bang play at third, but he's definitely in. Alberto with Verdugo firing to third base. Iglesias fought off a pretty good pitch.
Yeah, Iglesias, I tell you what, he's found the barrel most of the time. This is a little bloop. Things are definitely going his way. He just kind of lobs this one out in the outfield. And you can see the right fielder, Verdugo, comes up quickly and makes the throw to third, but Hanser Alberto with 2 outs hustling on the batted ball and easily makes it into third base.
So the Orioles with a chance to add to their 3-run lead.
Yeah, how about that? Runners in scoring position, 3 of 8. Boston only 1 for 5, and there you go.
Santander into the right field corner. That'll score at least 1. Here comes the second run, and he's in easily. Iglesias scores 2 RBIs for Anthony Santander, and the Orioles now jump on top 7-2.
Boy, that's how you answer back if you're the Orioles, right? Red Sox score 2 in the bottom of the 6th, but here comes the Orioles. There's that slider spin right there. Anthony Santander pulls the hands in and laces one down the right field line. A really good piece of hitting right there. There was no doubt Hanser Alberto was going to score. The question was, could Iglesias go from first all the way around the home plate? And yes, he does. There's your relay throw, and easily Iglesias scores.
Well, there's the 2 back that Boston got. Orioles answer, and those are 2 big runs.
Yeah, those are huge.
Alex Cobb can start breathing again, right? So now Nunez with an RBI opportunity. Santander in scoring position, blooping it into center, and there he is again. Jackie Bradley with his second diving, tumbling catch of the game. But the Orioles get 2 on the Santander double. Birds on top 7-2 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Jam in the 6th, and now it's Richard Blyer's turn.
Yeah, see, Blyer last year, 53 appearances. He did make that 1 start, 3-0 record, 5.3 ERA. He picked up 4 saves and 5 opportunities. A very good strikeout to walk ratio. That's what you like about Richard Blyer. Normally doesn't beat himself. Opponents hit 295 off of him. More of a ground ball pitcher than he is a fly ball pitcher, which works well at Camden Yards and most ballparks. Oh, Castro was impressive. You know, I mean, that's what you want to see from him. I've always thought Castro's got closer stuff. There's no doubt. I mean, it's a high-octane fastball. We're going to see it approach 100 miles an hour. The slider's good. The changeup is really good as well. And I'll tell you what, he came in against one of the best hitters in baseball, and it was a 3-pitch punch-out, and it was dominant.
Good morning, good afternoon, and then the good night slider to get that strikeout.
And that's why you really like the back end of this Oriole bullpen. You take Michael Givens, you get a healthy Hunter Harvey, which hopefully we will see here in the near future. And you put those arms from the right side up, it looks really good as Velasquez looks like he's going to go in the outfield. Out in left field.
Looks pretty limber, doesn't he?
Ready to go.
So Velasquez in for Santander, who delivered the 2-run double before he left. Blyer with a fastball strike to start off Benintendi. Benintendi 0 for 7 on this young season. 0 for 4 last night. I think everybody was hoping that Richard Blyer wasn't quite himself last year, coming off the lat surgery, and now with another year to recover, that we'll see the guy that was so good here for the past 2 or 3 years before that. You're going to add, subtract, move it around, right? Keep you guessing.
You know, we heard him talk on a Zoom call the other day, and he talked about, you know, he was lucky. He had big league hitters to throw to. He had a facility to throw to during the shutdown time. So he really came back to camp, summer camp, in really good shape, he said.
Bounced up the middle. Alberto's got it. High throw. Davis grabs it. 1 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. So Blyer gets the ground ball. Alberto turns it. And the Orioles get the first out of the 7th inning. 1 for 3 day for J.D. Martinez, who had a big night last night, 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs, and that one got him. So hit by pitch, Martinez will take first base.
Well, that's a big miss there. You can see Pedro Severino's actually set up on the outside part of the plate. And that fastball runs all the way across. Next, J.D. Martinez on the elbow.
So now it's Rafael Devers. He struck out twice, 0 for 3. Looking in the 1st inning, swinging in the 6th. Probably glad that Alex Cobb is left. But now it's left on left. Ball and no strikes. Went fishing on that one, 0-2.
There's that good Richard Blyer breaking ball. Benintendi hitless on the year. I think Devers is hitless as well. That's what he did, yeah. 0 for 4 last night. 0 for 3 today. Both of them.
Hope it all changes in the 2 or 3 days, right, Ben?
That's right. Get all the hits they want to once the Orioles get out of town.
Throw to first, J.D. Martinez. Back. Davis was inside the bag. No threat to run, but maybe shorten up that lead in turn 2, right?
JD's looking at it like, come on, man, I ain't stole a base in 6 years.
Yeah, but if it keeps him a step closer, maybe you get the double play.
Absolutely.
Or something,
it
right?
matters.
Yeah.
Really matters with a runner at second base, too, because if it's a base hit to the outfield, if you can keep that base runner a step closer to second base, it gives your outfield an opportunity to throw him out at home plate, so it all matters.
Did you mind throwing over? Because some guys are uncomfortable.
It never bothered me to throw over.
Okay. Is that coming from the dugout a lot of times? Or
no, I mean, occasionally it would. If if the skipper or somebody saw something, there's a really good breaking ball by Richard Blyer. 2 in a row, gets a swinging on a ball that bounced, and then you get a 2-strike count right here.
Devers got the hat trick. That's his 3rd strikeout.
Watch this breaking ball. There's the spin grip right there, and there it is, starting kind of on the inside part of the plate and just leaks it right off the outside corner. Lefty on lefty matchup, really tough matchup. Excellent job of executing that breaking ball with 2 strikes by Blyer.
Here's Mitch Moreland. He got the Sox on the board in the 6th inning with a solo homer. Moreland, by the way, nothing new for him. It's just kind of a steady guy. He's not a superstar by any means, but 8 of the last 9 years he's hit at least 15 homers.
Yeah.
Solid. He's won a Gold Glove. He also pitched against the Orioles. I think that was last year.
Well, he quietly put up 19 homers and drove in 58 last year, but you mix him in with J.D. Martinez and Benintendi and Devers.
That was 2017 when he pitched against the Orioles, but he's been an all-star. He's won a Gold Glove. Another breaking ball. 2 down, nobody on. Orioles lead the Red Sox 7-2, second game of the season. Red Sox won big last night, 13-2. Orioles trying to even up the series. Bounce to Chris Davis. He'll take care of that himself. And the Red Sox are retired. Our Geico do-ups for the Birds on top 7-2. It's Severino, Davis, and Valaika.
It was Renato Nunez in the 1st inning. Orioles 1st and 2nd. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. And how about this? A double off the wall, first ball, fastball hunting. The reason why it is the Orioles started off 2nd and 3rd. Iglesias punched out. Santander grounded out. The Orioles couldn't put a run home, and all of a sudden, Renato Nunez comes up and looks for a fastball and gets one, and that scored the first 2 runs.
And Ben, you said it after losing 13-2 last night, to come out and go 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and maybe strand them. That wouldn't have been a good place to be for the Orioles. No. Instead, big lift right there. And I guess if there was another special moment, Castro, when the Red Sox had plated 2, cut it to 5-2. Bogart's at the plate with the tying run, and he comes in and punches him out. Another
Those are your 2 biggest plays of the game, no doubt. And of course, the Orioles would score 5 more runs, but to push across 2 in that situation, it looked like it was going to be an easy inning. They were going to score some runs, and then all of a sudden, 2 outs. But Renato Nunez did that a lot last year. Had some big hits. Double today, double yesterday.
Dylan Covey on for his 2nd inning. Just picked up about a week ago. Good breaking ball there, swung on and missed. Severino, Davis, and Valaika for the Orioles here in the top half of the 8th. It's Fenway Park, and it's the Red Sox, and 5 runs, not enough, right? If you can get 1 or 2 more, who knows if you'll need them. Thought he might have got a piece of it, but just down in the dirt, and it's a strikeout.
There's another split finger fastball grip, a lot like Alex Cobb's, and that's the typical action on a split finger fastball. Looks like a fastball out of the hands, but when it gets near home plate, the bottom just drops out of it. Tough pitch to lay off of, especially when you're behind in the count.
Here's Chris Davis. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, and then hit a fly ball to center in the 6th inning. A little comebacker here. Covey will take care of that. 2 down.
Maybe a little bit too aggressive for Chris Davis. I mean, that was something that was talked about in spring training, being a little bit more aggressive. And you'd like to see the aggressiveness, but it's got to be aggressive with a ball that you can handle. That ball kind of got in on the hands of Chris on an 0-0 count.
Valaika's got a base hit, scored a run. Starting at 3rd base today, Rio Ruiz was there last night, hit a home run. With a right-hander on the hill for the Red Sox tomorrow, I'd imagine Rio will be back at 3rd. Chance Cisco expected to catch tomorrow's game.
Big year for Chance Cisco, I think. You know, I mean, He's a guy that's just lit up the minor league system. Career batting average in the minor leagues of over 300 throughout his career. That's about a six-year career too. So he can hit. And
the major league average is about 100 points lower.
Yes.
It's like 304 down there and 205 or so.
And that's the question, you know, will it transfer? You see Michael Givens starting to get heated up in that Oriole bullpen.
Richard Blyer got a clean inning out of him. Paleka takes a strike.
Cisco, career 305 hitter at the minor league level.
Yeah, he hit 340, I think, in Delmarva, won the Sally League batting title.
And, you know, at the big league level, 167 at bats, only 210. Now, he's never really gotten consistent big league at bats, but still 210, you think he'd be better than that. So it's a big year for him. When he gets some opportunity, he needs to shine, because there's a guy by the name of Richmond.
Yeah, he's going to be here eventually.
Yeah, he's coming. He's going to be eventually. Won't be this year. Maybe we'll see him next year. Maybe not. But certainly the following year, you're going to see him.
Swung on and missed. The count even at 2-2. Dylan Covey making his debut with the Red Sox.
Another split finger fastball.
He traded his White Sox for Red Sox. Inside, count full. Cedric Mullins on deck should Paleka reach. Two homers in the first two games of this series. Ruiz last night for the Orioles. And strike three right there in Moreland today for the Red Sox. Red Sox coming to bat, bottom half of the eighth inning with the Orioles on top, 7-2. The line score 7-9-1 for the Birds, 2-7-1 for the Red Sox. Orioles did some damage early. They scored 5 runs in the first 2 innings, 3 in the first, 2 in the second. Red Sox made it a little dicey in the 6th inning. They scored a couple of runs and had 2 on and the tying run at the plate in pinch hitter Xander Bogaerts, and Miguel Castro took care of him with a strikeout. Blyer on for his 2nd inning. Moreland, Peraza, and Verdugo. This is Peraza. Peraza to lead it off here from the right side. Rip foul. Huge game last night for Jose Peraza. 4 hits in that one. He's 0 for 3. There's the spreadsheets, the information. Oh, 2 pitch. Up for a ball.
Yeah, Peraza made a pretty good impression last night. 4 base hits in your debut with the Red Sox.
It's a nice way to let your teammates and fans find out who you are.
He's the 5th Red Sox to ever do that in their debut, pick up 4 base hits.
Center field. Hayes is there. 1 down. Well, that looks like he might be the closer tonight, right? Michael Givens ready when needed.
Not a closed situation yet. Hopefully we don't get there. And there's Osich, the left-hander, in the Red Sox bullpen.
Verdugo takes strike 1. Been a lot of strike 1s for Oriole pitchers tonight.
Amazing how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get ahead, expand the zone. Alex Cobb was outstanding doing it. Nathan Eovaldi was really good last night for the Red Sox doing it. That is a recipe for success, is throwing strike 1.
One pitch from Blyer. Bounced up the middle into center field, base hit. Verdugo with his 3rd hit of the night, of the day, I should say.
Yeah, Verdugo didn't get to start opening day last night. Boy, is he going to work today. Pretty good pitch down, outer third. Just kind of stays on it and finds the barrel, hits it right back up the middle. 3rd knock of the day for the 24-year-old.
Well, that right field is a pretty good spot for the Red Sox. Pilar had a big game last night at the plate. Now Verdugo with 3 hits.
Yeah, plenty of weapons for the Red Sox, and almost they can platoon that spot, lefty-righty matchups, you know. Pinch hitters off the bench later in the ball game.
Blyer with a little token toss just to let number 99, Alex Verdugo, know he's thinking about him.
Jackie Bradley Jr. picked up 3 hits last night in the 8-hole. 7-hole today. He's got 2 base hits again. So we talked about production towards the bottom with the Red Sox. It's been there both nights, or both last night and today.
Orioles just 1 more hit than the Red Sox, 9-8 in the hit column. The Orioles have put them together at the right time. They had 3 hits in the 1st inning when they scored 3 runs, 3 more hits in the 2nd inning when they scored 2. Blyer a little better move that time.
Well, the Orioles have hit today when it's mattered the most, right? Runners in scoring position, they're 4 for 10. Not always about how many hits you get, it's when you get those hits. Whereas Boston today only 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Verdugo getting a pretty good workout, diving back into first base as Blyer very aware of him. Doubt if he's running, but you're trying to keep him closer, right?
Yeah, that's a double play. That's a tough combination to double up right there. Verdugo at first and Jackie Bradley at home plate. Almost has to be a rocket.
Smoked,
yeah, it's got to be a rocket to the second baseman or to the shortstop. One of those one-hop line drives.
Outfield pretty much straight away. That's in the dirt. Gets away from Severino, and Verdugo makes it into second on the wild pitch.
Boy, tough chance for Pedro Severino right here. Another breaking ball, kind of going well off the outside corner. Didn't quite get the shoulders square, but that's an even tougher one right there. And he quickly gets it up and throws a dart down to Iglesias, but not in time.
Verdugo 3 hits and a run scored. He's out on second base, shaking dirt out of his ear.
Getting a little sand and dirt and grit out of his ear.
Blyer's falling behind on Bradley. 2 balls, no strikes. Givens just standing out on the mound in the bullpen. Not throwing at the moment, just spectating, watching the game. 2-0 swung on and missed.
You've seen the Richard Blyer breaking ball. It's a good one, but this 2-seam fastball too. Watch the sink and late action to it right at the end. All you're going to see from Blyer velocity-wise, 88. That's not his game, but movement is.
Hear about late movement, right? Plawecki in the on-deck circle, and he got him. Bat goes flying down to first base. Chris Davis makes the play there. 1 down. 2 down.
Wow, how about that? That's a really good breaking ball. So fastball inside at 88. Then you start a breaking ball on the inside part of the plate and just take it right off the outside corner.
And there goes the weapon.
Jackie Bradley can't even hold on to the bat.
Chris Davis broke down. He had that all the way, right?
He smothered it.
Looks like Brandon Hyde's going to the bullpen. Richard Blyer's day is done. Michael Givens trotting in. Orioles on top of the Red Sox, 7-2 in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Directly after the game, WB Mason, the official office supply company of the Orioles, is your one source for all workplace needs, including incredible selection, everyday low prices, and free delivery. Who but W.B. Mason?
There's Michael Givens in relief for Richard Blyer. There's Givens' numbers on the year: 58 appearances, 2 and 6 with a 4.5, picked up 11 saves and 19 opportunities. Loved the strikeouts. 86 punch-outs in only 63 innings pitched. Michael Givens can do it. Good breaking ball, mid-90s type fastball, and an outstanding changeup. Opponents hit only .213 off the right-hander, and Richard Blyer was good as well. Went 1 2/3, only 1 hit, 2 punch-outs.
Givens against Kevin Plawecki. Plawecki had that infield base hit, just beat it out. Drove in a run. One of the 2 RBIs, the other one on the Mitch Moreland homer. Short center field. Hayes is there. And that ends the inning. So Michael Givens, quick work of the Red Sox. We're headed to the 9th. Orioles on top of Boston 7-2. Southwest Airlines, big heart and low fares. Book now at southwest.com. Headed to the 9th inning. Pitching change for the Red Sox here with the Orioles on top 7-2.
Covey is out. Josh Osich is in. With the White Sox last year, 57 appearances. He went 4-0 with a 4.6 ERA, 67 and 2/3 innings pitched, 61 strikeouts, almost 1 per inning, only 15 walks. That's very good. 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio for the left-hander.
He'll face Mullins, Hayes, and Alberto.
Boy, if there's 2 guys for the Orioles you want to see pick up some base hits early in the year, it's got to be Cedric Mullins, because of the way he started last year. Of course, Chris Davis, too. As you know, it's playing on their minds a little bit. The longer you go, you start to remember what happened last season. I'd like to see Mullins pick up a base hit here.
Mullins, switch hitter, will jump over to the right side now against the left-hander Osich.
Old Fenway Park shadow, you see it start to creep in. You see that Mullins' feet right now, and the more he gets, the harder it's going to be able to hit at home plate. You'll hear hitters talk anytime they're in the shade and the pitcher's coming out of the sunlight, or vice versa. It becomes more difficult to pick up the spin of the baseball. Hitters hit off a spin a lot of times.
Bounce down to third. Devers across, 1 down. Back to the top of the order, Austin Hayes. A couple of hits for him in this game. Scored the first run, kind of set the table. Led off the game with a base hit. Came around on the 2-run double from Renato Nunez. After the Orioles looked like they might strand runners on second and third with nobody out, suddenly was second and third 2 out when Nunez delivered the biggest hit of the game. The RBIs for the Orioles. Alberto has 1. Iglesias has knocked in a run. Santander 2. Nunez 2. There's 1 unearned run. Foul ball as Devers gloves it.
Yeah, 2 big RBI doubles in this game. You mentioned the first one by Nunez, and of course the other one was in the 7th inning when the Red Sox scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th.
Tack-ons, right? Yeah.
And then Santander comes up with 2 on and 2 out, and he gets a double and drives in 2, and the Orioles take the momentum right back from the Red Sox.
Red Sox 9th. It'll be the bottom of the order to start, but the bottom of the order is one of the best hitters in the game, Bogarts, who came in and pinch hit for Zue Lin. So it'll be Bogarts, Benintendi, and J.D. Martinez. Givens will face the teeth of the Red Sox hitters. It's a breaking ball for strike 3.
Little backdoor action right there.
Yeah.
Again, as a hitter, you see it out of the hand, and it's off the plate, so you instantly give up on it because you see it out there. Then you don't have time to get the engine started again. Watch Austin Hayes. He gives up on his ball. Right there, he gives up, and then you can't get it going again as that ball just creeps right back over the outside part of the plate. An outstanding pitch. That's one of those ones you just kind of tip your hat and ease on back to the dugout.
That one tailing away from Alberto, who has 2 hits in the game. Doubled in the first, had a base hit in the second. Part of both of those rallies. And then Jackie Bradley Jr. made a diving catch to rob him of a hit. And there's another one. He just keeps delivering. Guy's amazing. Hanser Alberto with 3 hits, and it was that close to having a 4th, if not for the defensive play of the game by Jackie Bradley.
And what do you know, another base hit off a left-hander, right? Hit nearly 400 off of left-handers last year. All 3 base hits today off of left-handers.
Well, all you need to say is nobody had more hits off a left-hander than Alberto since Tony Gwynn in like 1989, over 30 years ago. So that tells you what kind of company he's in. Iglesias, first pitch down to Devers, gets the force at second to end the inning. Orioles need 3 outs. They're on top 7-2 as we head to the bottom half of the 9th. Win of the 2020 season. Series final at Fenway tomorrow afternoon. We'll have it for you right here on MASN. Michael Givens trying to get the final 3 outs.
Yep, the Orioles can hang on to this one. Chance to win the series. Don't forget the last series of the year last year at Fenway Park. Orioles won 2 out of 3. A chance to duplicate that.
Yeah, Brandon Hyde talked about in the offseason. He said, hey, we took our lumps last year, but he said, I was proud of that. And in a series that didn't mean anything, there's no playoff positions or anything going. We went up to Fenway and ended the season with a series win over the Red Sox.
We talked about that last night, about this team and the way it gelled. This team really gelled in spring training. I felt like the team was a good team last year that really got along, that liked each other. And, you know, while the wins weren't there and they lost a lot and they got beat up on a lot last year, I always felt like they went out and they played hard. And Brandon Hyde's a big reason behind it. You know, the attitude he brings. Because a big message in spring training both last year and this year is I want to see you compete no matter what the situation is. And how could you not want to compete? There's so many jobs up for grabs here. So many young players are going to get opportunities to stick in big leagues, to play at the highest level that you can play at. And so I can see the enthusiasm. It's a tip of the cap to Brandon and, of course, to all the coaching staff. Doug Broquel, Don Long, all of them have done a wonderful job of motivating these young guys, teaching along the way. They're going to take some lumps this year, too. There's no doubt about that. But the future is bright for the Orioles.
Throws that one by Bogaerts to even the count at 2-2. Michael Givens came on and got the final out in the 8th inning. Looking for 3 more to call it a day. Comes the 2-2 pitch. Bogaerts stays alive. Xander Bogaerts, a native of Aruba, speaks 4 languages, including Spanish and Dutch.
Four languages?
Pretty good, Ben.
That is.
You and I are still struggling with one, right?
I have trouble with one.
Went upstairs and fouled it back. Pretty good battle here.
7th pitch of the at-bat coming. Michael Givens' velocity not quite there yet. You see him in the low 90s right now.
Yeah.
I think once he gets really in shape and really ready to go, you're going to see that velo tick up a little bit. But, you know, closers have a tendency when it's a non-closed situation. You don't always see the typical velo you see in a closed type situation.
Misses inside, and the count now full.
When the first batter of every inning, always the most important one for a pitcher. You get first out of the inning, and the chance of the other team scoring goes way down.
And he got it.
How about that pitch? A 3-2 count right there. Fastballs and some change-ups, and what do you do in a 3-2 count? You're up 5 runs. Bogarts thinks he's going to get that 3-2 fastball, but no.
So the two-time All-Stars had 2 at-bats tonight. Had a big one back in the 6th inning, and Miguel Castro got him, and now to lead off the 9th.
There's that nasty slider, too. You see it from way down low 3/4 slot. Starts it right on the inside part of the plate and just leaks it off the outside corner.
Benintendi with a fly ball to center. Hayes says, I got it. 2 down. Benintendi an 0 for 5 game. Well, 5 runs early certainly helps, but then Cobb, Fry, Castro, Blyer, Givens, they've all taken care of business on the hill. You get pitching, you win a lot of games. J.D. Martinez with a pretty good hack, but fouls that one back.
Seem to say that a lot about J.D. Martinez.
Yeah, he
pretty good swing, huh?
Yeah. You get fooled a ton. Well, it all started with Alex Cobb, who was very impressive. That drops in front of Hayes, so the Red Sox still have a pulse.
J.D. Martinez, 3 hits last night, backs it up with 2 hits today.
2 hits and a hit by pitch as well. Well, a lot to feel good about in this game for Oriole fans, and it starts with Alex Cobb's effort. Solid from Cobb as he went 5 1/3. Only gave up 1 run, struck out 6, didn't walk anybody, and then some good timely hitting as well. Devers has struck out his last 2 at-bats. 3 times in the game. He's 0 for 4.
Good changeup, 82 off the outside corner.
Lost his equipment on that one. Hat flying. Two balls and a strike. Red Sox down to their final out. Orioles lead at 7-2. Red Sox dropped a 13-2 loss on the Birds last night, so it's nice to see them bounce back. Wade LeBlanc for the Orioles tomorrow. Ryan Weber, right-hander, on the mound for the Red Sox. Moreland on deck if Devers reaches. Moreland with the only home run in this game. Here's the 3-1.
Yes, sir, right on the outside part. That's something Oriole pitchers, no matter who's been on today, in plus counts when you have to throw a strike, even behind in the count. So Alex Cobb do it a lot of times. He pitched backwards through something other than the fastball, and fastball counts. There's a really good pitch on a 3-1 count.
Devers stays alive. Alex Cobb would get the win if the Orioles close it out here. The loss goes to Martin Perez, the starter for the Red Sox. Okay, Michael, enough baseball for one day. 3-2. Devers not cooperating. He didn't want to strike out 4 times in the game, right?
No.
Is that the golden sombrero?
No, that's just a sombrero. The golden sombrero is 5.
Yeah. And Bill Ripken talks about the horn of plenty. That's when Sam Horn
named it plenty. I was there for that game too. Saw Sam punch out 6 games in one day. Big Sam Horn. And then he went 0-2 in his 7th at bat.
Oh no. There he goes. He got him. Fourth time Rafael Devers has struck out in this game, and that'll do it. Michael Gibbons, a little fist bump for skipper Brandon Hyde. Reminder to join us tomorrow. The O's wrap up this opening 3-game series with the Red Sox. Wade LeBlanc takes on Ryan Weber for the Red Sox. Coverage on MASN 2 begins at 1 o'clock with O's Extra, presented by PNC Bank, followed by game coverage at 1:30. Ben, nice way to bounce back, right?
It was. I mean, you got to love it. I mean, Cobb set the tone early, and the Orioles pick up a win, a chance to win the series tomorrow.
For Ben McDonald, this is Scott Garceau. Orioles a winner today. They beat the Red Sox 7-2. Have a great day, everybody. Brett and Bordy, O's Extra coming up next.